demand. You're breaking your mother's heart. Ma, why didn't you tell me?
I like my
All
brown
right,
glasses better, but I don't know what they are.
Don't know where your brown ones are? Okay, so wait. Say your question again. Bring it back.
What we learned in church today, what is the most often stated command in the Bible?
Most stated demand in the Bible.
Yeah.
If
command.
it's not love thy neighbor, that's a great question.
And it's not repent. That was my guess.
Repent. That is surprising. Number one demand in the Bible.
Not demand, command.
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 If it's not love thy neighbor, I couldn't tell you. That's a good question. What's up, SG? Oh, wait, SG on TikTok. Whoa, isn't it past your bedtime? It's like 3 a.m. in Turkey. I don't have a clue.
Be not afraid.
Be not afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Oh,
don't
that makes
be
sense.
Afraid. Yeah.
Huh.
Mentioned a ridiculous number of times in the Bible.
Interesting. Mom, we haven't done a podcast together in 3 weeks. We haven't done a live podcast in over like a month and a half. How crazy is that?
Been a while.
We've been slacking. No, we've all been busy. I was telling everyone.
I haven't been slacking. You did one last weekend with the ladies, right?
No, we didn't have the time because we were two on the go. So with Paris and Ariel, it was literally just a fun weekend.
Slacking.
Yeah.
Your podcast. I'm just the guest each week.
I gotta tell everyone the absolute nightmare that that we had with the traveling. So Paris and Ariel will hear Friday. I don't know. I forget if I told you on the phone, but Paris and Ariel will hear from Friday to Monday. What's up, SG? Friday to Monday, and then they had to leave Tuesday. So Monday, I get them there. I was like, guys, I feel kind of bad because I was like, we have enough time to get them to the airport. I can't, like 30 minutes before, just walk on in. It's a really tiny airport. So I take them to the lake. You know, the when you go to that park and the lake's back there, I was like, plenty of time. Plenty of time. We get there, and they're going to check their bags. And the person says, just stay there. Stay there. We'll check your bags in a second. So time goes by, and I'm like, wow, I got them there like 20, 30 minutes beforehand. And then they say, well, the jet bridge is broken, so we got everyone on the tarmac. And it's like, oh, that's why everyone's been, like, they thought they were the first ones there. But in reality, everyone was on the tarmac because the jet bridge was broken. I was like, man, that sucks. So basically, they couldn't get on the plane because no one was there to help them because everyone was outside with the air, helping them on the tarmac. And then time goes by, and then I pick them up because they ended up not being able to take their flight. And then they tell me later on that their flight didn't even take off for another hour and a half after they left. How crazy is that?
That's
so
crazy.
They could have easily made that flight, but they didn't. Luckily, they were able to take a Greyhound bus. But, I mean, we were going in pretty deep. I will say, I'm going to say it. I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I was forced to watch Love Island. Now, not the biggest fan. I didn't think I would be into Love Island. And I wouldn't say I am. But I'll say this. I get it. I can get... It's good entertainment if you're into that stuff. Because now Ariel and Paris are like, okay, Chris, it's time to get into Love Island shape. So I will be on the next season. That's the plan.
We got to get you more guy friends.
We're going, yeah. Mom, oh, no, you want to know what's sad, Mom? More guy friends that I have watched the show than me. I get it. You know,
you don't admit that. That's the difference.
I'll say it on the podcast.
You'll watch it, but you do not.
I'll say it on a podcast.
Outside.
I will not admit it outside the podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want this going to job application.
Yeah, right. I don't want to hear the end of this.
I'll say it definitely opens your eyes to just how crappy men are when it comes to dating. Right? It's really funny. Well, there are a couple terrible women on there, but
yeah, a couple. Okay.
No, I'll say this: there's a couple women on there who I genuinely do think are looking for like a relationship. Not a single one of the guys is there for a relationship. It's hilarious.
All right, I don't watch that show. I've never seen it, but
next season is our season. You're gonna be watching me. I'm gonna need you giving me pointers on the phone. Yeah.
No
What's
way.
up,
I
So
was at the hairdressers. I told you, and the two ladies there, one of whom is younger than me, but an older lady, and she was like, "I just don't understand these 90-day fiancés. Don't they think there's gonna be a problem when this guy comes from a whole other culture on the other side of the world where they meet women?"
yeah, it's
Like,
very strange how. I mean, the dynamic of
that's the
that show is
definition of
interesting.
desperate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's an understatement. But again, it's a good show if you're into that kind of reality TV. It is crazy. You know what it taught me? It taught me how long it takes for women to get ready. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
they
you
get,
wouldn't know
yeah,
that.
they
You
can
guys don't
do.
know that,
I
yeah.
was talking to someone today at the beach about it, and she said, like, it takes me 3 hours to get ready. I was like, wait, what, 3 hours? I wake up, roll out of bed, shower, we're good to go.
Yeah, you grew up
Wow,
with
SG, that's
two
crazy.
brothers, right?
Yeah.
Two brothers, and on a scale,
What's
by
up, Anderson?
comparison to most women, I am kind of low maintenance, as you can all tell. But having said that,
Get
the
together.
nails aren't done.
Okay, hold on. My mom's always asking for a hair and makeup department for the podcast, so she's bullshitting you. But I was
That's
really
almost pasting dead on the podcast. But no, I'm just saying, yeah, you guys are spoiled in terms of.
I got some
being
color
with-
at the beach. It's red, but it's color.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of maintenance. That's always kind of funny when your brother's had his girlfriend here, watching her do the makeup and everything and taking the
Disgusting.
time and, like, and he's not the most patient of the three of you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, I think my patience is even lower than Ken's.
No, it was Michael.
Oh, I know who we're
I
talking
don't know,
about.
Michael's friend, but anyhow.
I don't remember, but yeah,
Well,
that's
just
crazy.
in general, and that's not unusual. That's more normal. I mean, you guys think what I do is normal, and it's really not. Mine's
Well,
just your basic get out of the house.
I
'cause,
have to
by
put
the
my
way, I have 3 sons. It doesn't matter.
I have to put my foot down though. This one drives me up a wall. If you have, okay, ladies, if I have a reservation for us at 7, that doesn't mean you start getting ready at 6:45 because I know damn well it's going to take you longer than that. I know
Especially if you're
damn
saying
well.
it takes 3 hours to get ready, then you better be starting it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and
Right.
not be sitting at the beach.
That drives
right?
that drives me up a wall. I hate being late for stuff. Even Gabby was like, our friend Gabby, she's like, yeah, that makes sense, Chris. You would have the short patience for that. I'm like, I'm not. If you're getting ready 15 minutes before, what's up, Ellie? If you're getting ready 15 minutes before going to dinner, that's a problem, right? Unless you
It
can do
doesn't
it, but I know
take-
you can't.
It doesn't take celebrities 3 hours to get ready with professionals, unless they're wearing, like, costume makeup or something. So you better be wowing me if you're taking 3 hours. And very few women are wowing me when they're done doing 3 hours, let alone 2 hours.
I take
of
10
makeup
minutes to get
time.
ready. That's what I like to hear, Ellie. That's what we need. Or Eli. It's probably Eli.
I thought you were saying that. I'm like, yeah, well, you don't do
I
anything.
well.
You change your tank top, big deal.
Well, sometimes I'll shower beforehand. It depends on how sweaty I was before.
Oh, sometimes how big are you? That's so nice. Thanks.
Sometimes
so
I'll
much for
shower.
showering.
Maybe I'll throw deodorant on. I know. Yeah.
God.
But yeah, I 3 hours because my friend Susie was explaining to me how long it takes to get her do her hair, right? She goes 3 hours. I'm like, hold up. I had to stop. I said, what the hell does it take to do 3 hours? She's like, well, I have to condition. I have to leave that in for 10 minutes. I got to do this and that. I was like, okay, what are we doing?
Chris, you're wasting brain cells on this.
I know.
Guys are lots.
I just don't like the lot. Well, I would wonder. I would ask other women, does it normally take 3 hours to do your hair? If it takes 3 hours, if that's the average.
Well, some women have curly hair.
Disgusting.
And if they want to straighten it, it's a process. It's not just as easy. When you dry it, it curls up. And if you want it straight, you got to take your time and you have to do a section at a time. Then if they want to put a curl in it, yeah, it's a whole big freaking production that. as I said,
Unbelievable.
it's just not. We were lucky here because we didn't have any girls. It was just me.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Think of how late Michael always is. Can you imagine that times 3? Michael can't even get in the car fast enough. There are days where we'll all be in the car for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and he'll be walking out with the shoes in his hand. I'm like, Mike, we gotta go. I'm like, how do you mess this up?
Usually he's wearing
I
the wrong
believe you.
shoes, and I
I
gotta
got
go
you.
tell him you cannot wear sneakers to a funeral. Go back upstairs. You can't-
That's Michael. Yeah,
Why? Yeah.
the youngest brother's like that.
Yeah.
But there are some times when we'll catch Mike out of like a dead sleep and we're like, get ready. I remember those mornings. And Mike's
Going
like,
out of bed,
whatever,
Ready
dude.
to go.
Yeah. Kenny used to be like that, but Kenny's a lot more. Do you know the passing of Oliver Tree? Yes, we will talk about that later. Uh, but yeah, I
Hey, my
mean,
camera's far away.
that camera needs
There
to
we go. There we go.
adjust. Yeah, I mean, I just hate being late for stuff. I don't know if I'm sure I was late when I was younger, but nowadays, like, I can't imagine being late for anything.
That was on that checklist. Always be early. It's a sign of respect for people.
If you're not, I'm with you. Or imagine people who say, "Oh, I'll be there in 15," and then they don't show up. Like that one drives me up a wall too. You know?
I was usually late for stuff because of my kids.
Well, that's messed up.
Once I unloaded you guys, I'm usually on time for things.
My mom's calling me a waste. My mom's
All
calling
of
me
you.
an impediment.
No, all three of you. Hence, your comment about your brother coming out with the shoes. We were always late because one of you idiots would do something and we would be delayed.
What are you idiots?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ma. That's cool. No,
Growing up for me was always my mother. She always made us late for stuff. It was just in her nature. So I always tried to avoid that, being late for stuff. But then I had kids, and it was no matter what I did, somebody always screwed something up, and we'd be late.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
I want to know. So grandma's birthday was this weekend. You took her up. It was my mom and her siblings. What was it like having the family back together without the kids?
joyful, total joy. It was all joy.
That doesn't sound.
God, it was joyful.
That doesn't sound like it was joyful, Ma.
Did I say that right? No.
Uneventful.
Put the gun away.
Yeah, really.
No, it was fine.
4
It was
days.
good. Uneventful. She got back. No one was injured. That was my goal. Isn't that sad for birthday? Nobody gets injured. We don't spend any. As your aunt said, I don't want any hospital visits. Not one. She was getting mad at something. I am not going to Glens Falls Hospital. I am not going. She got so upset. I'm like, we're gonna be taking you if you don't calm down.
Yeah,
but no,
really.
it was fine. All was fine, and I think she had a nice enough birthday,
Who?
considering driving and flying, and shuttling here, there, and everywhere. So.
Someone just asked how was Pancake as a kid. Mom, tell him how perfect I was. Tell him how perfect.
Oh yeah.
Tell him how flawless I was as a kid, Ma.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I guess we could do questions later, but we could go right into. I didn't really pull articles. This is a little bit of a weird week because one, we missed half the week. So I haven't been paying attention to the news because I was catering to people. I'm sure you've been paying attention more to it. So we might have some older news by now standards. But yeah, we can get into that. So perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Ellie.
I would just like to point out that you had visitors who are YouTubers, who are very successful YouTubers, manage to do stuff while they're visiting you. You
sort of.
just,
It's a different
the
type
shit
of.
was
Hold on.
bad with you, and you can't even pull a freaking.
Well, I pulled articles, but
yeah.
I didn't do the detailed articles that I usually do.
Okay.
But
Okay.
their content's different. That's not fair to me, Ma. That's not fair
They
to me.
talk to each other. What the hell are we doing?
Ma, you cannot compare the two. It's not the same.
I saw them. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of their podcast to see what they're about. So.
Oh, you did?
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
No, I didn't say that. I said I don't get it meaning you. I don't get it when you're saying like, oh, I couldn't even pull an article. They're visiting you. They're traveling around. They're on the beach, and they managed to put
Yeah,
out
but they don't have as
YouTube
much
things,
stuff.
right? While they were visiting, you can't even pull a couple of articles.
That's crazy, Ma. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like again, I pulled articles. I watched the news. I just didn't do my detailed list of articles. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Fine.
All right.
You sent me a
Well,
science article about stem cells.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Oh, so when you do it, it's fascinating. When I pull it.
Yeah.
Um,
No, there was big news this week. We both kind of missed it. I didn't catch it till the end, but then again, nothing. While I was away, they talked about what the big news that was coming on Monday. So I really didn't miss much. You didn't miss much, but when it came out, they've been talking about it all week, so I had it ready for today.
Whoa, hold up. I don't even know what came out this week. Hold on, let me check.
The Iranian war.
Oh yeah. The
MOU.
right. All right, for those of you that have never been to a live podcast before, usually what we do is we do the articles and then we kind of open up to questions for everyone. So you can ask questions on the article. If you want to just ask general questions, which you're more than welcome to, those will probably be done at the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, I need time to think about how Pancake was as a child. I'm getting old and I forget a lot of stuff.
You forget how the flawless nature of your.
We all kind of mesh together after a while.
Love you, Ma. Love you.
Want to hear something weird? We were at the airport. It was a relatively small airport with one gate, taking Grandma back. It was me, my sister, and my mother.
Right.
Mom's in a wheelchair. It's the two of us. It's a decent sized number of people to get on this one plane. A lot of people are at the gate. We pull in, we push ourselves in, and I got a guest pass, so I could go with them through security and help my sister get my mother on the plane, and then I could leave. Okay. I take so we're there 5 minutes. Susan goes, I go, so Grandma wants to use the ladies' room. Okay, I push it into the ladies' room, no problem. Mind you, there's nothing distinctive about us because there are other people in wheelchairs. She's in the ladies' room, and another older woman comes in, and she looks at me, and she goes, and Grandma's in the stall, so you don't even see my mother. She goes, is that your mother? I thought that was kind of an odd question. She couldn't even see it, and I said, yes, it is. You guys all look so much alike.
Really?
That creeped me out so much because she was a nice lady, but I'm like, what are you staring at us? Because she couldn't see my mother in the stall.
And she has cataracts that are like it's a.
I'm like, what were we doing out there that this woman in that whole crowd noticed us to compare us and how we looked? You know, it's really weird. So just want to share that with you.
Do you think the Iran deal will work? Well, let's get right into it, Ma. Are you ready to talk about it? You want me to bring up this article? I don't know which one you had. I didn't actually see the other one.
I put two
of the Hawks.
I think I sent you two. The Hawks and was there another one?
The other one was the Mark Levi one. Yeah. Continue without supporting. Let me move it to podcast 2 and share my screen. 1 second. For those of you that do want to see the article and read it.
Oh yeah, so Levin was going crazy over it.
First off, tell me who Mark Levin is. I'm not even sure who this guy is.
Oh, Mark Levin is a big broadcaster on Fox News, conservative news.
Right.
I think he has his own radio show and all that. Obviously, very pro-Israel, and was very pro-Trump, but he was very much anti the Iranian deal. Went point by point. So I want to put that article up because this was an ally who was ripping into Trump over it. Then I put the other article up about the Hawks might be right. It's called, which talks about this agreement. I hadn't looked at it. I didn't look at the 14 points of it. I only heard broad strokes because we were busy over the weekend. But I paused a little bit because it did, we were talking about bomb out of existence. That was my mentality. But I took a step back and I'm like, from past experience, Trump is not an idiot. He's usually good about making deals, and everyone's saying, oh, he rushed this because of the midterms and he wasn't getting good advice and he let everything go and he gave it all up. It seemed that way to me at first when I thought about it. And then I read, if you recall, we talked at the last podcast, or maybe it was, however long ago we had a podcast, where we said there's one thing we know for certain about the Iranians. They always break their word. It's like that's what
just historically they've done it. Yeah.
Right. Or they stall, which we were saying there's no agreement yet. Well, they're just going to stall forever. They're going to act like they're going to sign and not show up. With that in the back of my mind, I was thinking about this, and I'm leaning more towards, at first I was with Levin. I'm like, oh, geez, we spent so much money on this war. Bannon, you asked me about Bannon. He's very anti this Iranian war also, and we want our money back, which I do kind of agree with, meaning the money we spent on this war. But if you take a step back, what Levin wants and wants is the exact other people wanted. It's the same thing we've always done with them, right? You must do this, blah, 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 and we'll give you a small amount of money and blah, blah, blah. And they never follow through. And then we're right back where we started. We've been doing this for 40 years. When you read that Hawk article, it's kind of an interesting take on it because he's given them $300 billion US. If you read the deal, and I haven't read it, so I can't say exactly, but if you read the deal, he's not giving $300 billion. It's not American money. It's supposedly from the Middle Eastern nations and private companies. And in a way, if it works out, it's kind of genius because they only get money if they do the checklist of what they say they're going to do, right? So, for instance, we had sanctions on them. We're going to lift those sanctions. But we do it through waivers. So we're waiving the sanctions. So, in other words, the second they screw up, boom, that sanction goes back on again. Okay? They don't get certain dollars until they perform certain things.
Right.
If they don't do it or they renege, boom, they don't get the rest, right? And the genius of that is, I feel, I could be giving him too much credit, but Trump and his crew, they understand they're going to screw up. It's a guarantee. The Iranians are going to back out. They've always done that.
Well, I think the problem is the factions. Iran has too many factions, and they're too spread out. So, like, you have one part of Iran that wants to do this deal, and I'm sure there's a lot of Houthis or whatever that don't want this deal. So it's really, to your point, someone's going to break it on that side. The question is, can they keep their troops, I guess, in check, or factions in check, so that it doesn't get broken? But go ahead. I have a different take on this, but we'll get to it.
They never mean to follow through with it. I don't care who it is, which faction of the whole country.
Right.
It's just ingrained in them. They do not follow through. They always break every deal that they've made with every nation, right?
Right.
So the person in the Hawk article they said, you know what Trump did was he put a loaded gun on the table and gave them options. So you pick that gun up. Now we're back at war. And now we must get support because they signed this agreement. They said they were going to do these things in black and white. And when they don't do it, now America's not the bad guy in the sense that, hey, we signed an agreement. And by the way, this is not a treaty. This is just a memorandum of understanding. Right. Over the next 60 days, they have to show good faith. Then we'll talk about signing an actual agreement and a plan. Yeah. Okay? It's a different way of doing things. And naturally, all the people all the Trump hate people, oh, this is a disaster. We're giving it all away. We've done the deals in the past, and they've meant nothing. Right? As the guy said, before the ink was even dry in the JCPOA, that was under Obama, they were already breaking all the rules, the Iranians. So it's interesting to see if this works. It's genius. It forces them every inch of the way to comply if you want your money. In the past, we just gave them the money. They signed an agreement. Oh, you disagreed, and we wound up bombing them, just like we went to before. So I'm staying open-minded about the approach, okay? And according to Trump and everybody involved, the Strait of Hormuz is going to open again. It doesn't really have much to do. I think Lebanon was put in with this also, in this memorandum. Right. I don't know if that'll be part of the final agreement, but I just thought it was an interesting approach of dealing with how do you negotiate with somebody that you know is going to break it no matter what you do. Right. They've broken it every time they've sat down and negotiated.
The other thing I think was smart. I'm going to take it a different way. I like your idea, Ma. I'm going to take it a different way, though.
Let me just say, hold on. Let me just say this. And he's made it very clear, nonstop, every time. If they renege, we will blow them up. We will not stop from above. So I think that makes a difference, too. All right, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to take it a different way. One thing that I like about the deal is that it leaves Israel out. And that, I think, is a bigger deal than people realize. Now, here's my question. And I do have to bring Israel into this. And you and I have had this debate a couple times. I think that it bothers me that every time we are coming close to a peace deal or there's some peace deal, literally the day of, Netanyahu bombs Lebanon, right? Again, we talk about how these guys, we want a peace deal. We've been working for a peace deal. And then every time we have a peace deal, Israel, a.k.a. Netanyahu, bombs.
Not always Israel. Sometimes Israel, but not always Israel.
Unfortunately, the three major times, it's been Israel. So I think what's smart about it is it gets us separated. But here's my problem. Because, Israel just said, I think yesterday or today, they said they're not going to leave Lebanon until it's all done, right? Until they move their troops out. Fine. But what's going to end up happening, and I just fear that this is going to happen, is U.S. just signed this deal. It might go through. We give the $300 billion or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, Netanyahu does something. And then he goes, no, we need U.S.'s help again. Right? And unfortunately, I think because of APEC and just how many politicians are get a lot of their funding from Israel, which we know for a fact now with the APEC. what scares me is I don't know if Trump can really break America from Israel's. I don't want to say grasp because there is like we do have a certain relationship with them. But I was watching a podcast with John Kiriakou, the FBI or CIA former CIA informant, and he was talking about just how deep their ties are to, or Israel's ties are to the U.S. and just how unhealthy it is. And I was thinking, if we were to completely cut Israel out of our well, what's the word? I don't want to cut them out of our politics. I wonder how many politicians, those 40-year politicians who are getting that APEC money, just disappear, right? I like, if you want to make, we always talk about a regime, not regime change. I wouldn't say regime change, but we always talk about the change of politicians, like the ones that have been there for 20, 30, 40 years. The only way to get rid of those people is the concept of, if they have no funding from APEC, or entities involved with APEC, I think you would see a lot of these people like stop running, honestly.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a part of it. You could say the same thing with Ukraine. Ukraine, that war has been funneling money back to a lot of politicians who wouldn't have campaigns with the money to run for office if it wasn't for the never-ending war in Ukraine and
Right.
drumming up sympathy for the Ukrainian people. Um, I think that if you can neutralize Iran in that territory, and I think that this might be part of the overall Trump Middle Eastern strategy. If you can neutralize Iran
Just
and
gonna eat the
get
rest
them
of my
under
coffee.
control, we don't necessarily have to. I think we can start looking at Israel as what it is, a sovereign state. It can defend itself quite well for that region. Um, Militarily, it's a very proficient uh, country in defending it because they're used to doing it.
Hold on,
They
I
stood
gotta
up.
I gotta fight back on that one. Israel's military is not great. The Mossad is very good, and even then, it's not great in comparison to America. That's what I've
Well,
heard from people who specialize in that stuff. So
hold
that's
on.
why
I will
it's
say
good.
they have a history of in the 90-day war back in 1967 when people start go back to that, the first war. Israel took over all of Gaza, the all the straits. They won all those territories, and then through
Sure.
treaties and whatnot they gave it back up. But militarily they have proven themselves capable, like, as well as other nations can of their size and whatnot. That's not to say we abandon them completely, just like we wouldn't abandon other countries. We give them
Right.
arms and we
Yeah.
share information with them. But I think the only thing that has kept us as tied to Israel is because of the volatility of the Middle East and
Yeah.
places like Iran that always threaten them. If we can neutralize that, get this area to be more economically, because we've come from Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Syria hating Israel to now they're willing to work with them or at least defend them against mutual enemies. So I think a lot has changed in that region. And one of the biggest things is we are energy independent. The US
Yeah.
being energy independent, we don't need to care anymore.
Yeah. And that's why I think this deal does obviously end a lot of things for the US. My question is just how much will Israel do after this? Because now the U.S. is trying to get out. Like, that's kind of the plan. Like, I think, as you said, I think they know that Iran's going to break any deal that they put into motion. But let's say they don't. Let's say they want this 300 billion and this was the goal. And they're like, we're out. I wonder what happens between them and Israel. Are they still going to have a war? Because then the question is, when do we have to step in again as their ally? So I wonder if the deal is structured so that it kind of cuts ties with Israel, but then you can't really Israel. You can't really do that because of just how deep rooted they are in our politics, how deep rooted they are financially here. Like, when you look into APEC, like the actual structuring of APEC, and I've heard people talk about it, it makes no sense why they're the only country that doesn't have to identify as a foreign entity. There's so many rules of things that they can get around because of it. It's not audited. So there's a lot of questions where I go, oh, wow, that's definitely, like, there's something to that where, and every politician defends it, even though they can't explain what it is because they know they're just getting money from it. So,
Well, I Israel has always been an unusual sovereignty. The way it was created, how it exists, and all the money in the world and all the treaties in the world, it will take generations to undo the level of hatred between the people that are ingrained in them from birth. That you just can't wave a magic wand and says the U.S. says now the war's over and everybody has to get along. When you get pressure from your neighbors, and that works both ways, Israel as well as Iran, when you get pressure from your neighbors to say, hey, there's money on the line here, it's the future of this area, you're screwing around with my oil, now all of a sudden everybody puts pressure on, say, Iran to come to the table. And I think that might be the beauty of this agreement in the sense that, okay, fine, we're signing an agreement, we're out of it. And the U.S. says, okay, as long as you do all these things, we're fine. In the past, Iran would be like, yep, we're going to do it all, sign it away, like the JCPOA. Now we're talking even more money, which is an even bigger carrot for Iran. You know, I think, what's his name? Obama was like $1.9 billion, which was a lot of money. But now we're talking billions to rebuild the country, and that region now is going to get a piece of it, meaning all the countries along the border will get a taste of that money. Okay. But now it's different. We're not just handing you that money. Now it's literally dangling the carrot. You do this, I'll give you some of it. You do this, I'll give you the rest of it. It's a different approach. And I think while they're busy trying to do that to rebuild their country, it gives Israel some breathing room if they choose, right?
Right.
It gives them a chance to take a step back. Now, Levin was very upset because, Trump is basically aiding and abetting Hezbollah and Hamas, which is exactly what we don't want to do, and they're attacking Israel. Well, you know what? Hezbollah and Hamas were not supposed to be part of Iran. So now we know. Iran just basically uses them. So if Iran wants this money and they want to funnel it to these groups, guess what? You're not getting the money.
Right.
You reneged on the agreement. So then that's all how carefully the agreement's laid out. And I haven't seen the details. But I'm keeping an open mind because I don't mind trying something different because the stuff in the past didn't work.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. I hope it's the end. I really do. I'm already starting to see gas prices go down. Like my gas prices today were like $3.64, which is 40 cents less than what it's been. So even with my Harris Teeter discount. So I also looked at OPEC, and OPEC, talk about a mob. OPEC makes no sense. It's literally like a mafia.
A consortium.
Yeah. That makes no sense.
Fancy word, a consortium. Yeah. Where the heads of the families all sit down at the table and decide we're not going to do it.
They're like, oh, our gas is going to be... Yeah, our gas is going to be so low. Today it's going to be expensive.
Now you guys, I don't know, you guys can... Younger people may not be able to appreciate now maybe you understand. I grew up, our gas was determined by OPEC.
Right,
and
which
by
is crazy.
Other countries and the Middle East. Somebody so much as farted over there, my gas prices were at their mercy. And for American citizens, that was... the 70s was an ugly time with Carter. Lines out 5 miles just to get a gallon of gas for work. So, it's a different world now. I also think Israel wants to be more independent. They can't have it both ways. You can't say you want to be independent but take all our money, you know what I mean? Or take all our support. But I think that, and they may decide Netanyahu's not the answer. They could get a new prime minister in. That may be a good thing for them once this is over. And at that point, maybe they start approaching as, hey, I'm a sovereign nation. Our number one threat has been mitigated. And now let's focus on growing our area and building our whatever, with whatever region they get out of it and calmness in the area.
Well, this goes back to kind of what we've talked about a couple podcasts ago. I think too many people don't realize the state of Israel before this whole war started, right? First off, you have a 5-party system, right? You just have to get 23% of the votes, which means 70% roughly is going to hate whoever the president is. He was already under indictment for allegedly selling off government positions. And I forget what the other one was. So again, I think that Netanyahu has a good reason to keep this war going, and I think that's why when we come to every peace deal so far, they've basically ruined the plans. Right? It's happened 3 times already. Right? You can talk about it every time, and that's not when you're trying, when one side's trying to create peace and you keep bombing them every time you try to make peace, that's not a good look. So let me say this. I'll put it this way. Right now, anti-Semitism is at its height. No question about it, right? Statistically. I will say that with the stuff that Netanyahu's doing, not the Israeli people, it does kind of make the country look bad from the perspective of everyone else. That's rude, SG. But
Well, I mean, you have to look at the polling within the country too, because there's many people who want to keep going with this war and they want Iran destroyed. That's kind of what I was saying about you. You got generational hate over there, that, and as much as you say, well, every time Israel keeps messing this up, I still go back to this started October 6th,
yeah,
2020, what we got one. Their citizens were not
right.
just attacked; they were brutalized. I mean, literally brutalized.
And
Disgustingly brutalized.
we also forget that when they attacked, Israel was already getting ready for a civil war, arguably. Like they were in the early makings of a civil war. So it was kind of the best time to attack in a sense, but when you're already divided. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I just don't think that it's helping their cause to continue this war, Israel specifically. And I think, as we know, I mean, Iran is kind of on their last legs in the sense of say what you want about their, like, how they've survived this long and how it's been going on for X amount of months, but the amount of destruction that's happened there, a lot of the gas lines have been destroyed. The only thing that they've had to stand on is the Strait of Hormuz, which that's really their only bargaining chip. And it's a big bargaining chip, don't get me wrong. But I do think I would bet a lot of money that a lot of people have thought about ways to get around that. I don't know, by legal methods, because the CIA and the FBI, that's like their entire job.
Well, I think that that's the interesting part of this agreement. I think Iran is used to signing whatever you want, and then some time goes by, and you find out, oh, wait a minute, they are having ships go out. I mean, as we speak, they were already having holding back on gas that they weren't supposed to be hiding, while they were supposedly being forthright and were telling you everything. So it's just in their nature to renege on a deal. And it wasn't just this, Chris. This has been going on for four decades.
Yeah.
This is how Iran behaves. We've had many agreements with them. We've had many things over the years. Obama was the most recent one that they're comparing all Trump stuff to, the JCPOA. They don't follow through. They don't let you, they tell you, oh, yeah, we have no other uranium. And then all of a sudden they do. So you can't trust them. And I think if this is the case, I think there's a certain sense of genius in what Trump is doing, in that if we took over the Strait of Hormuz, oh, you're doing regime change, and the U.S. has no right to do that, especially our European, friends who did nothing. Now, all right, we gave it all back to them with one agreement, and they backed out of it. So now the U.S. is in a position to say, we can bomb the hell out of you. And guess what? You got a taste of it already, of what it was going to be like. And we stopped. Everybody went crazy. Oh, you should finish it. We stopped. We crippled you and we stopped. They can rebuild. They probably have been doing it since we've had all these ceasefires. But at the end of the day, I'd like to see how this agreement performs. Because everyone's going to be up in arms when they say, oh, 2 months, it's already fallen apart. I think that's actually is what's going to happen.
I just don't know.
The Iranian people.
Yeah,
Not people, the Iranian government.
The government, yeah, the people, because the people don't even agree with their government, right? 93% don't even like the regime. I don't think anyone actually knows who's in power, technically, right? They're doing everything off country, right? Like out of the country in a sovereign state or sovereign country. So it's very weird because it's like, who are we fighting? We're fighting this Iranian government, the Houthis, all this and that. Hamas, I should say. So what do you... who do you negotiate with? Do we know really who we're negotiating with?
Well, that's taken a while to figure out who actually has authority. Some will show up and say, no, we're in charge. Others show up. That's why we kept hearing about the Ayatollah's son who took over, who's in a hospital
and no
somewhere.
one's seen him. Yeah.
No one's seen him. And frankly, is he the signing authority? We don't think so. Remember, it's a theocracy over there. It used to be the Shah, the prince. Now it's a theocracy. And when there are no mullahs or ayatollahs around, you got to go with who's at the table.
Right.
And I think it took a bit of time for us to figure out who's actually in charge here. That's where your CIA comes into play, and what we've been learning over the years about the fourth and fifth screen quarterbacks. Who are these people? Do they have a say? If they sign something, is it very easy for the Ayatollah to come out and say, I didn't sign that, therefore you can't hold us accountable? that, this isn't even a normal situation for signing some sort of an agreement with people.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you have a war with no leaders. One side has a leader, but the other side doesn't. Like, who's the leader? And now you have all these factions that we talked about. Some aren't even in the same country, right? In the sense of the fighting over Lebanon right now. But I do
But
think. Oh, go ahead.
remember, at the end of World War II, there was no leader in Germany anymore. And we had to negotiate something with them. They lost and they paid for it. But in Italy, there was no leader anymore. Mussolini
Oh,
was
right.
out. Hitler was dead. So, to your point, this is what happened in war. When you have a
Allegedly.
loser, very rarely do you have, or not really, but you don't always have somebody who surrenders and sits at the table and says, I sign our country away. So it's not that unusual to be in this situation when you bomb the crap out of a theocracy or a country like this. So, it's not as structured as we have in this country with, a hierarchy and who's who and what's what and who has authority. We're basing it on what they say is the authority. Who knew had authority in Germany after
Right.
World War II? Even World War One? Who was signing stuff? So
Yeah.
anyhow,
All right. I think we've done enough on this, Mother.
plenty.
Yeah, I think we've done enough on this. So I just want to bring up before we bring up the other one, news wise, I think the other massive news that we saw was that Elon became the first trillionaire.
Oh
Um,
yes.
do we have any? So first off, I think people don't really understand how like when $1 trillion works. First off, he's not the first trillionaire. There's been other trillionaires. Usually it's the royal families in um, like Saudi
Dubai.
Arabia, Dubai.
Whatever.
Yeah, those oil families. I guess it's the most individual wealth from a stock, but the royal families over there, like the crown prince and all that, they
I
are
don't think they're
multi-trillionaires.
trillionaires. I'm
Yeah,
not
they're
sure they
trillionaires.
are.
The Rothschilds, they have to be close.
I don't know.
Yeah. I would say it's the first publicly independent person to hit $1 trillion net worth. Now, that being said, that does not mean he physically has $1 trillion in the bank. I think too many people don't understand that. Right? His assets and his stocks and stuff makes him a trillionaire. But it's funny when you see, as you saw, the riots outside of New York where they're talking about how no one should be a trillionaire and all this. It's like, well, again, he's not really a trillionaire. So it's kind of a weird. If he sells it, he'd be a trillionaire, but it doesn't really matter to me because I don't think it really makes much of a difference if he's a trillionaire or not. Also, what's the word? It doesn't surprise me that he's a trillionaire. It didn't, like, with all the stuff that he's doing between Neuralink, SpaceX, Twitter, what else? I mean, some of the other projects
Tesla.
that we know. Yeah, Tesla. We got
Tesla.
the Tesla phone. We got Grok, right? His AI stuff. I'm not surprised by the fact that he became a trillionaire. So I don't know why people are so upset. Like they're like, how dare he become a trillionaire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the American way, right? And I'm sure people were upset when Vanderbilt became a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or when the original everyone's out to get them, and those were the days we did anything went. Because of those guys, we wound up with all these antitrust laws and legislation because they were just running amok when we were building this nation at the turn of the century, the last turn of the century. I don't have a problem with somebody being a trillionaire as long as it's legal. It's America. It's the American dream. There should be no limit to what you're able to do as long as it's legal and as long as it's not oppressive to people. Because of the valuations of things nowadays, it's called a trillionaire now. It was a big deal when somebody was a billionaire 100
Yeah.
years ago.
Well, that's why I always rip into Bernie Sanders when he's like, we should really like he's like, we should tax the wealthy. First, we should tax the millionaires. Then he becomes a millionaire. And then he's like, we should tax the billionaires. I find that so funny.
Hypocrite, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's
hypocritical.
just you move the needle, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, that's the socialist mentality. You don't. The poor stay poor, but yet you use the people with the money to fund it until they have no more
yeah,
money,
but
or you wind up with just a handful of wealthy people that run the country, oligarchs, right?
the other thing that
When
you
you try
forget,
the other.
yeah, the other thing is like he can't. You're not paying taxes on that $1 trillion till he sells, right? So once he sells the stocks and actually has $1 trillion in his portfolio or in his bank, then he starts paying taxes on it. So you really, and I guess that's kind of the gross, like dirty secret, I guess. It's like, well, as long as he has the stocks, he's not getting taxed on the stocks. So that's why he's not really a trillionaire. He's a multi-billionaire, no question about it. But
well, you have a net worth.
yeah,
I mean, I have cash, but you have a net worth, and if there's but that's assuming the stock maintains its value. It could. There's some triggers in the agreement where a certain number of people, if it has a certain price, they could sell the shares, right? If you have a massive sell-off for some reason of the stock, the value goes down of the stock. So, now all of a sudden your total value isn't a trillion, it's hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. That may fluctuate over time, right? Mm-hmm. Just because he's at that now doesn't mean he will maintain that, or it could go higher, right? That could happen. The company could be more valuable down the road, or the value of the dollar may go down, and trillionaire is not a big deal anymore. A lot of things can happen. I think his point is this is a long-term investment for him. SpaceX, to me, when I looked at, or when I heard some of the aspects of it, of things that they were doing, someone was making a comment like, this is all science fiction. Well, it is, because he's visionary, and he's thinking of, we're going to Mars, and SpaceX is going to get us there. Well, they're trying to factor that into the dollar amount, the value of that stock now, right? Okay, it's worth this much because someday this company's going to Mars. Well, that would be astronomical. Any country that gets there, we're eventually probably going to get there. They think they're going to settle it. Not my lifetime, but they're trying to bake that into the value. All these visionary things that SpaceX is going to do. I happen to think they're going to do it, but that's an intrinsic value, intangible value. How do you come up with that amount? What's it worth owning a city on Mars, or going to it? And that's why I say it could go through the roof. Right? Or I think
what kind of bothers me slightly is like Elon's plan to go to Mars. I say let's get to the moon first and kind of colonize that a little bit before we shoot right for Mars.
I'm just saying, everyone always talks about Mars because apparently we've already been to the moon, right?
Yeah,
that we know.
Because Bezos failed the moon.
Well, and Bezos
thing.
too.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying that is the next frontier, and he's starting that. And to us, it's like, oh, please, come on. It's by the time that happens. But they have tried to bake that into SpaceX, things like that, the visionary aspect. Nothing wrong with that. People did with telecommunications. Oh, we put these lines in, you're going to be able to talk all around the country. At the time, people scoffed at it. But look where that went, right? Same thing with the internet. So I that doesn't bother me. It bothers me more when people like a Bernie Sanders decides, no, we need laws to stop this. Stop what? The American dream? To stop the American system? If he's trading illegally, or if the way he's doing the IPO is illegal, that's wrong. But just because the valuation's high, Bernie Sanders just wants a piece of it. The problem,
right?
He just wants a piece.
I mean, the guy's got 4 houses, so when he talks about socialism, I'm like, the best part about socialists is like, they talk about socialism until they get what everyone wants, and then they start changing the rules. So like Bernie Sanders used to be like complete socialize everything, and then all of a sudden he gets 4 houses. He's like, well, it's just medicine and like maybe just a little extra on the side every month. And then he's such a hypocrite. But again, I do understand certain aspects of it. Like, I think the problem is, and we talk about this all the time, is I don't think socialized medicine is the issue. I think the issue is the fact that Big Pharma has such a hand in politics, in the price of things. Like, it annoys me that the same medication in America, the exact same, is significantly more expensive than that same exact brand in another country. Like, that's something that, for some reason, socialists will never bring up. But the reason is because these pharmaceutical companies are paying them for their campaign funding. They're doing all these things that just, I mean... Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why our medical system, which is still the best in the world, yes, I'm going to say that,
I don't know if we're still number one in medical.
It's fading fast, unfortunately, for a lot of reasons. Stop picking your chair tonight.
I know. It's how I think.
It's fading fast for a lot of reasons, and it has to be shored up. And sometimes I think it's intentional. I've said this to you many times, that they're trying to drive you crazy with paperwork and everything else. So people throw up their arms and say, just let the government take care of it. Mm-hmm. Okay? We all do that. Let the government take care of it. We don't be bothered. Well, that's a mistake. That's going in the wrong direction.
Oh,
And I'm not saying that because, oh, that's your opinion. There's plenty of countries out there that I think I just saw an article where the 300 deaths were attributed to people because they had to wait in the waiting room in the UK
right.
in like a month's time. 300 people died because they had to wait in the waiting room for their health care. Oh, yeah, you want to bring that here to this country? You think people got to tolerate that here? They're not, right? So having said that, there are ways to fix it. Um, but we go off. Socialism to me, if Bernie Sanders really wants to live, there are plenty of socialist countries. They're beautiful countries, geographically. Go live there. See how you like it. Stop trying to bring that garbage here. We're capitalists. It's brought most people out of poverty. This homelessness and all this gibberish going on, if you learn nothing from the Spencer Pratt and the whole California election thing, it's a money-making business to have these poor souls drugged up and on a street corner. It's unconscionable, and it's terrible as a society. We've gone backwards, and that needs to stop. These people should get help. This is America. People shouldn't live on the streets taking drugs all day.
Right.
But other people are making money off of it. Socialist programs, right?
Right.
Oh, we're going to try to help them with all the money. Okay. So it's going backwards. And you made me think of something funny, like the biggest socialist, AOC, was going off on Trump before the IPO. This guy thinks who he is, and we're not going to listen to somebody who thinks he's such a smart. He's not even that smart for a billionaire. And Musk's comment was, correction, trillionaire.
Yeah, I saw that.
Said,
man, I just want to know how, psychotic do you have to be to say to Elon Musk or talk about Elon Musk that he's not smart? How dumb do you have to be? Right? The guy started, hey, AOC, how's your SpaceX doing? How's your Neuralink?
It's an arrogance, right? Yeah. People, not just her, but they think that they're so smart because they got elected to a position when nobody showed up to vote for her.
Yeah, right.
But that's all it took. And this individual, others have done it and gone to greatness. She's done it, and I don't know what the hell you call her ascension. But you're right. There's a lot of stupid people in Congress. There's been many stupid people over, the life of our 250 years of our country who have been in our government, right? But the arrogance of these individuals to go out there on social media and just pick on somebody or make comments about somebody. Again, she's one who pushes for socialism. There are many wonderful socialist countries. She's lived in areas that's some of the nicest places in this country, in Westchester, New York.
Right.
Okay, and gone to very decent schools, living off of the capitalist dream. And now all of a sudden she's all for socialism. Okay, but I have no problem with trillionaires. God bless them if you could do that in this country.
Yeah, we act like it opened a can of worms that everyone has the chance to be a trillionaire. Like, you probably won't see another Elon Musk for at least a century, at minimum. So, again, I don't like this.
Years ago, Kathy Lee Gifford. You ever hear her name?
Yes.
She's a little bit older.
I can't think of who it is, though.
With Regis and Kathy Lee. She used to do a talk show.
Right.
She married Frank Gifford, the famous sports announcer who was a big football player, and she's still in the entertainment industry, right? She also opened up a clothing company. This was probably during the Clinton presidency. And she used overseas workers. They went, and I think she was Christian-ish at the time, and believed her faith, lived her faith. They came after her, the liberal media, like nobody's business. Because how dare you make money off of these poor children of the country? And she claimed she didn't know. But I think it was her husband at the time made a comment. He said, I didn't realize America had become a country where you get punished for being successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was during the Clinton years. So think about that as time has gone by. It hasn't gotten better, and that's that socialist mentality. How dare you do well? You need to be punished because you're doing well. You can't do well unless every American citizen does well. That's not how it works. It's not equity. It's equality, equal opportunity. Anybody could try and be Elon. They don't have the intellect to do it. He has a special gift, as do others. But I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but that's just these comments that come from these individuals. They're not understanding what America's about. It's been ingrained in them, that you can't have wealthy people. That's not right to the poor man. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
And yet, meanwhile, his employees were made millionaires overnight
right,
because they
because of
had
this, because of
stock.
stock, right? Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Huh. Yeah, true. All right, let's do yours. Because truth be told, I had one about Claude, but it's not that interesting. I guess we could talk about it, but you saw that Claude, right? The AI got
I,
so good that the U.S. was like, well, we got to ban this because we can't have other countries having this. Like, they found Claude in like 30 seconds, found every security breakthrough, like in our entire Pentagon and all this stuff. So they were like, whoa. They were
gotta
like,
shut that
yeah.
down.
But I was
God
watching,
forbid.
yeah, so they have two offsets. One's called Fable and the other one's called Mythos. I watched Fable 5 create Skyrim in like 30 seconds. Someone just said, recreate Skyrim. And it did it the whole game, which is nuts. Do you know how
I think
nuts?
yeah, Claude, was it Claude? I think it was Claude AI that solved that math problem that had been haunting mathematicians for like 100 years. It did it in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like, oh,
crazy.
damn.
Yeah. But it's scary how good they're getting. Like we always talk about the doom and gloom, but like that what took 100 plus years with that math equation, it does in 15 minutes. Like that's the revolution that we're getting to. But even AI pictures and videos and whatnot, I mean, even those are getting to the point where indiscernible, unless you tell me, and it's just gonna go up from here. So,
Interestingly enough, though, it hasn't been like, okay, we found the cure for cancer.
well, because
AI
that's
working
the
numbers and
slowest. Oh, the link for Discord doesn't work. You sure? I'll put a new one in a second. Oh, here, let me throw it into here, um, into the chat. Um, invite to server. 1 second, mom. Let me throw that in. Let's see if it'll let me. It might not. But yeah, I think that I think it's easier to do the quick fixes of like, let me just start a new program, let me do this and that. And that's easier work than trying to solve cancer. Because also, like, how do you? I think I think there's a little bit of narcissism to scientists that will say, "Oh, I want to solve it myself, not use AI." I don't know how true that is. I might have just completely made that up, but I just wonder how much they're
Chris,
using
if
it.
I'm sitting with stage 4 something, please use the AI.
Oh, I'm with you,
I'm
hundred
begging you,
percent.
use the AI.
Yeah.
That's why I say you got to move that up the list because I care more about that than a 100-year-old math
Yeah.
equation that you solve in
Well,
15 minutes. Let's focus the talent on that.
I was talking to a friend today about diabetes because she thinks that she's type 1 because it runs in her family. And I looked it up. I was like, did you know China 2 months ago completely found a cure to diabetes? I think we actually talked about it on the podcast, but I think it's very, like, it unbelievably effective against rats right now and mice. So we're on the brink of solving 90% of the major health issues. And that makes me question cancer in the sense of, is that just one of those ones that's where I get cynical. That's where I go, wait, is this just because there's a lot of profit in it because of the medicines? Like, I just don't think Big Pharma is going to go, oh, man, we don't even need us anymore. But even though I'm always talking about peptides, even bodybuilder.com, which is not a medical website that just sells my protein and stuff, even they will sell peptides now. Get me on the
Well,
Reddit tried. Get
let me just
me
say
on the Reddit tried.
this was another big story this week that we talked about this. You see nowhere. Those Fauci emails that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you and I was sanctioned for saying vaccine, I think, or something
Yeah,
years
I got
ago,
a 3 day
right?
ban. I got a 1 week ban because of my mom.
Okay, we should be
Unbelievable.
suing them, suing your banning people. That now it's all coming out, and many conservatives who were censored and deplatformed for daring to say exactly what every email is saying. He
Yeah.
worked with the security people. He knew that
Well, hold on. Let
this
me take a
thing
step
was
back for our
malicious.
viewers that don't know about it.
Yeah,
So Tulsi Gabbard, she's stepping down because her husband unfortunately got cancer, and she's going to help him out. That's the story I'm going with. I know there's a lot
yeah,
of rumors out there, but I like that story a lot better, and I like Tulsi Gabbard.
yeah.
So she said, listen, before I go, I'm going to release all this stuff on the emails. And we basically found out that everything about COVID was a lie. Um, Fauci did do, well, there was a lot of lying, a lot of inhumane things being done. And basically everything that the conservatives said about this situation and all the whistleblowers that were silenced were completely right. So
Right.
the vaccine hurt people more than helped people. Fact.
Well, and Pfizer has recently, which got no attention, recently released their findings of all their side effects from their
Yeah.
vaccine. And it's a frightening list that people didn't know about, right? Because they didn't release it at the time. They were forced to release it now. So I think it was like 175 years that they don't have to put out their findings. Oh, no, no, no. The judges decided, no, no, we're not doing that. Point is, it's all coming together now. And all these things that what you're saying, like about cancer and stuff. How do you have faith in the scientific community when you literally murdered people's relatives with this thing?
Yeah, you said it on the phone, and you're completely right. Like, he might have a pardon here in America, he does not have a pardon in other countries. So I would not be surprised if other countries, after seeing this, which this is fresh news. This what's today? Saturday. That probably came out Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Um,
Stay, yeah.
uh,
And they have every right to be
yeah.
pissed because they lost people too because of the actions of a senior
Ooh.
official in the United States government that had control over this. Now, I don't know the extent and how they could build a case, how much of it was their people involved, whatever, but he totally misled. And I didn't see the evidence, but also was not sharing information with the president of the
Right.
United States so he could make good decisions. Because really, the buck lies with the president. Trump was responsible for that COVID. He was in charge of the situation. Having said that, if he's not getting good information, he's not a scientist.
Yeah.
He picks these people, and before everybody says, well, that's your fault, Trump, everybody in the media loved Fauci. Oh, he's the greatest thing, and he should do this, a great person, blah, blah, blah. Trump's an idiot, but Fauci's good. Well, look at where we are now.
Right. I never got the vaccine or the flu vaccine because it affects my Tourette's. You got lucky, dude. Because let me tell you, I'm curious what the long-term effects of that we're going to see in 20 years of those vaccines that were pushed out way too fast. But you know who deserves the biggest apology? Freaking Joe Rogan. Because Joe Rogan got so much shit from CNN.
Yep.
And he was talking about ivermectin, and they were like, no, that's a horse dewormer. It has saved so many people. So, again, I would put, like, I know he would never admit it, but the impact that Joe Rogan had during 2020 and on is unbelievable. And I don't think he realizes how many lives he probably saved just based on that information. Because, honestly, some doctor gave it to him. It's not like he came up with it. But I always think about that. I'm like, man, you might have saved a lot of people.
Well, and there were plenty of doctors who were speaking out about it.
Yeah.
They were just censored and squashed and not allowed to say anything. They were fired. I mean, in the military, private doctors. It's not like every doctor out there was, oh, yeah, it's wonderful. Too many were like that. But, and I think Rogan just came out just this past week with a clip about how several presidents tried to get him to
get off Spotify. No, they were trying to ban him off Spotify.
Ban him on Spotify. Yeah. That's right. They were all calling Spotify. And he said, fortunately, it's not an American company. And they didn't come after him, which makes sense because of his following. But that by itself should be a wake-up call to, so many of you younger people who listen to him, let alone others who do, that, that's how, like you said about the cancer. We have every right to believe in some of these conspiracy theories because you've led us down that path. When you're not transparent and when you put somebody like a Fauci in charge and then you tell us, oh, you got to believe what we say. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Right. Mom, do you want to tell everyone about your Swiss? I want to say, let me share my screen.
Well, that kind of goes along with, the advances that are coming out. I just thought this was kind of cool. So there's a Swiss, it's the ZTH or TH, what's the name of it? I can't remember. But the university over there, or the, I'm sorry, ETH Zurich. They've developed pluripotent stem cells, and they were able to repair and regenerate the nerves for the back of the fish, and they're starting to do it in the mice.
That's
they
crazy.
Do it by they take therapeutic stem
cells.
Yeah, they use magnet.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Ma, there it is. Your live is flagged for misinformation. Repeated violations could result in your live being discontinued. There we go, TikTok. I knew it was coming. Eat it.
So anyhow, they use magnet electric particles and nanoparticles plus magnetic fields, and they guide by implanting these stem cells into these things, these metallic things. They can guide it to where it needs to exact location. So like we were saying about stem cells. Oh, no, it wasn't you. It was Uncle saying it. Stem cells are good, but it floods a region.
Right.
So it repairs kind of a region. You can't specifically put it into damage.
Give it time.
With this, with the back, you have to be so careful. and they create like a magnet environment where they can guide these stem cells exactly to where they need to be, and they're seeing regeneration. There are ways to go, but they're seeing regeneration, spinal cord injuries for these creatures, these fish, and I forget which type of fish they were, and now they're seeing it in some mice when they're doing it with no bad side effects, which is good too. So they call it the biohybrid micro robot
Yeah.
that they use to do this.
This kind of goes back to what we were talking about the medical industry in general. I mean, the advancements that we have made in just medical in the last 2 years, I would argue, given it's AI or not,
Yep.
are just remarkable. Like stem cells have say, I know people that have taken stem cells and they say how great it is. Now, do they have to go to Colombia for them? Yeah. But that's where the good stuff is. But I think now it's becoming more and more popular in America.
Well, these pluripotent stem cells are what they are, and they're not neonatal stem cells. They the age of we need fetal stem cells is basically done because you really don't.
Right.
They can do anything.
They can make
with
them
regular
artificially.
stem cells.
Yeah, they can also do them artificially now. So
Right, and that's where these pluripotent stem cells come from. They jack them up basically so that you can use them for this procedure. But it's
um,
almost better that they make it themselves.
uh, so yeah, that I saw. I don't think we talked about it in the last podcast. I had it for the article. I had the article, but I think I scrapped it. But basically, they found a cell in the body. I forget what they're called, but they're actually reversing aging, which is pretty amazing. Like it's whatever causes us to age, they've completely reversed it. So I don't think that means you'll live forever, but I think they can prolong aging. Like I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of my lifetime they are able to at least get to 120 years. It's like the new lifespan, especially with peptides.
I don't know why people are shocked by that. People
I'm
used to
not.
live to like 30 in the Middle Ages. 30 was the ripe old age. 40s and 50s was a big deal if you got to that, in the 1920s.
Yeah.
And now somebody dies at 80 and they're like, oh, that's so sad, which it is. But, if you get to 80, I think that's a good thing right now.
Right.
Healthy 80. So 90, your grandmother's 92. She's got a 93-year-old boyfriend. Your grandfather's getting up there too. Fortunately, it's not that unusual anymore. So I would fully expect you guys will kill me early, but you guys will probably live a long time.
But the second you forget my name, you're going into home, Ma. The second.
That's fine.
You're going right into, I'm going to find the worst care
here, I'm noticing all the crap I have behind me, and I'm like, what did I put that stuff there? As you were talking, I'm like, look at what I got behind me.
Looking so professional, Ma. Everyone knew.
Sorry about that.
This is what upbringing was like. Just a chaotic household, messy all the time. Dyfus should have been called.
Oh, baloney. That's not true. Baloney.
That's pretty much all the articles I have, Mom. So I guess we can open up to questions for if anyone has any questions about the articles or anything they want while we chat. We'll answer just some fire off random
Why
questions.
is your mother such a slob?
Yeah. Why can't your mom get her shit together?
Why is she clothes behind her? Is she moving out? No.
Yeah. I think everyone's wondering, how's the house search going?
Well, we see good
That
ones,
means not good.
Like,
that means
it's
not
not
great.
like we're like, oh, we found one, we're going down tomorrow. That hasn't happened yet. No, but we do want to get down there and start looking at some places and see some more neighborhoods that keep popping up with some nice houses in it. But, we're just watching the dog. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult with Bobo here to just get in the plane and go.
Can you grab Bobo? Can you bring Bobo over? I haven't seen Bobo in a while.
No, he just got on the sofa. I'm not bringing him over.
I haven't seen Bobo
He
in
just
forever.
jumped up. I can't do that to him. He's all excited because your uncle was here. But
was he?
anyhow, your uncle offered to watch him at his house, and we're usually reluctant to do that because he's an hour away and blah blah blah. But I did say we might consider doing that soon because it's getting a little bit hard to go down and do stuff.
Everyone's saying they want to see Bobo. I'm just saying.
All right, hold on.
Where's Bobolicious? You can put him back. What's up, Erwin? Just random questions. If anyone has random questions, it has nothing to do. It doesn't have to be politics. It doesn't have to be news articles. You could just ask anything. Chris, why are you so perfect? I don't know. Bobolicious, I haven't seen you in so long, Bobo. Look at him.
Gotcha.
What's he weighing right now? What's Bobo weighing?
Can you relax? No, you cannot relax.
Look at you, puppet. Bobo, can you see me? Whoa. Whoa. Look at his ears. He's like, whoa.
Here's you.
Hello, Bubblicious. Oh. Look at that. He's like, it's funny, he doesn't understand. What's funny is Finley like can completely understand when you're on FaceTime with him. Bubba doesn't really get it. He's struggling.
No, he doesn't like phones. He doesn't like FaceTime. Or he's not. It's not thrill for him.
Yeah.
Although he
I
hears
think
voices and he gets
nice,
real
nice.
excited.
Yeah. Did you see those ears go back, everyone? That was him going into speed mode, power play mode.
It's good, but he got he still has that little hitch with his leg in the front. So.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I think that's permanent.
I have to go do my abs.
Can't do much about that. Looks like your brother just tried to reach me.
Really?
Yeah. Important.
So any questions? Anything? Throw them out. Oh, you never answered the what was Chris like as a kid? Tell him how perfect I was, Ma. Tell him how perfect I was. I'm eating a homemade popsicle. That's awful. Who makes homemade popsicles? Hold on, is a homemade popsicle just crushed fruit in water and then frozen?
No, fruit juice. Fruit juice.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
You know what I got at the store?
What?
At that, that cheapy dollar store over by Walmart in Manville.
Ma, don't tell them that we're so poor we're at dollar stores.
I love that store. They had ice trays. It's not a Dollar Tree. It's not a Dollar General. It's some weird ass store, independent store. They had ice trays, but the ice is long strips, so you can put them in water bottles.
Oh, interesting.
I got 2 of them, 2 trays of that.
Nice.
When I come down to North Carolina,
I'm gonna need one, Ma. I'm gonna need one for my non-existent water bottle.
That's really cool when I saw that. Yeah.
How old is Bobo? Bo is 12, right? 11, 12?
12, yes. He's
getting
12.
there.
He's got a little puppy face, though. He maintains his puppy face. What was Chris like as a kid?
Perfect. Flawless. Athletic freak.
Well, I'll say this, and Chris has heard this before. When his brother Kenny was born, we used to think Kenny was such a handful, like a little troublemaker. We used to say Kenny's the one who's going to have Chris climbing out the window at night to go out in the middle of the night. Which you guys were little, right? Not you doing it, but Kenny did. And then we realized it's not that Kenny was a troublemaker. It's that you were such a marshmallow. You made him look bad all the time.
Yeah.
So Kenny got in trouble with this. I love this story. You were watching TV in the family room. Kenny, so you're 2 years apart. Maybe you were 4. Kenny was maybe 2. Kenny, maybe a little older, like 3 and 5. Kenny wanted attention, and you weren't giving it to him because you were in your la la land watching TV. And he bit you on the back.
That son of a bitch.
And you had to wind up to realize what Kenny was doing. And it was like a slow whoop happened. And Kenny got in a lot of trouble, but then I realized he was frustrated because you wouldn't give him attention.
To this day, it's
and
the same
that's
way.
how he would do it. So you were clueless. No matter what Kenny did, you wouldn't give him attention. You were in your own little world, and then Kenny just that was his way of doing it.
Right.
And you were another thing I remember about you, which is weird. You were very nasally when you were little.
Nasally.
You used to talk with a very deep voice like that.
Someone said, "Hey, Mom, is Chris your favorite kid?" Yes, I can answer that one for you. Absolutely, without question.
Bo is my favorite.
That's
I
true.
would say
Bo
that.
is
Bo
the
is my favorite.
Even Grandma the other day goes, because I forget what I did for her, but she goes, "Chris, you're my favorite grandson." I was like, "Yeah!" And then she goes, I forget, we were talking about Kenny. She goes, "He's my favorite grandson." And I went, "No, Grandma, you liar!" I'm like, "For all I do for you."
I swear to God, at one point she said in front of Susan and me, "I love all 3 of my grandchildren." Susan goes, "You have 4
Yeah.
grandchildren."
Right.
She just completely lopped off. Probably Jordan, because she saw me and said, "I love all 3 of my grandchildren." She didn't mean it, obviously, but
Someone said Kenny pulled a Marv Albert on Chris. I don't know who Marv Albert is.
I don't know.
Is that on a show?
Marv Albert.
Marv
I don't know
Albert.
that one.
Yeah. Nah, Kenny. Yeah, Kenny. I just remember Michael. Michael was the handful because he would just get up and be like, "I'm leaving." Mike would just go out the
Like
front
a
door and
mom.
make it to the end of the street. We're like,
Yeah.
Michael, just come back. If Michael
Yeah.
didn't get his way,
It's
I'm
always around
leaving and I'm
dinner
never
time.
coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, it was always around dinner time. He threw a couple things in a bag. He'd be out the door, and I'm like, Kenny, watch your brother. I'm making dinner. If he gets to the mailbox, let me know, and I'd have to go get him. But he always came back. He always came back.
It's funny. Oh,
No, I
Michael.
can't, everybody got along. I can't complain. You're all different personalities, but you all got along.
Yeah, no problems.
Oh,
Besides,
okay. From an early age, Chris had a phenomenal golf swing.
really?
That I don't know what it was, but your dad would do ad nauseum. He did with all you guys, but you were probably 2 or 3 years old, swinging a golf club, that fat plastic
Yeah,
thing.
the blue one. Yeah.
And the dad would put the normal size golf ball, not a real one, but a normal size, and boom, you would hit it. No big deal. Every kid could do that, but you hit that freaking thing so straight. It's like, how is he hitting this ball so straight? Stuff like that, you would just do it over and over and over. The basketball hoop in the family room, right? You guys would do that with dad.
Right.
Oh, hitting the ball when you were little, right at the fireplace with the bat, right? So you guys were good about
I
that
suck at
and
golf.
taking turns.
Yeah, now I'm pretty decent at golf now, but I don't play that often. Marv Albert was a sportscaster that got busted for biting women on the back.
Oh, I remember you saying.
That's
Okay,
funny.
yes.
Um,
That would be Kenny.
what was Chris's favorite food as a kid? That's a good question. Like before it was chicken fingers and French fries, what was I doing? Tell me it was like apple juice or something.
Well, you were our first child, so when we would feed you like baby food, it was always you like carrots, so we would mix everything with the carrots to get you to eat it. So you put a little spoonful of turkey, put the carrots in. I took you into the pediatrician, and the guy looks at you and he goes, "Stop giving him so many carrots. You're turning him an orange." And then we looked and we realized you were getting like an orange tinge from eating so many carrots. That stands out in my mind about food with you. And we couldn't get you to put weight on. You didn't eat. That was a problem with you, believe it or not. So we would make you
Hold on, pause. What do you mean, believe it or not, Ma? What the hell are you trying to say? Are you
not.
calling me fat as hell?
Yeah, and I would bitch about food with you all the time. At the time, I couldn't get you to eat. Drove your father crazy. We would have pre-made sippy cups lined up in the fridge because, Dad and I are a little OCD. And we would take them out, shake them up, make it on the microwave, and that you would have these supplements all the time because you weren't that. Kenny was a worse eater than you, but for some reason you didn't eat. You just wouldn't eat. You weren't big into food. It wasn't your thing.
Yeah,
and
now
then
I
it all
can't.
turned.
Yeah, now I can't stop eating. Now I have an eating disorder. Like
Right.
now I eat everything in sight. But the one thing Kenny used to eat, remember the bread, cheese, and butter, like just butter, cheese, and bread. Kenny used to just eat cheese and bread. It's like, what the hell?
Well, peanut butter. He lived on peanut butter or
Yeah, that was
turkey
wild.
for the longest time. He would not eat vegetables. No, he was terrible. We got a
Yeah.
great video of him gagging down broccoli when he was probably like 7 or 8. When couldn't leave the table till he ate the broccoli and he was literally gagging it. while it
He
was
still
going down.
can't do broccoli. Kenny's
He is like
yeah,
it.
Kenny's broccoli. Kenny's been better about it, but Kenny will like plow through broccoli now, but hate every second of it because he knows it's good for you. But
Kenny was a tank as a baby.
yeah, Kenny
He's
was
big.
built like a brick shit house.
Yeah,
Kenny,
he was big.
yeah, Kenny
He
was like a
big.
bulldog. No, he's not that big. Who is
He
Chris's
didn't weigh a lot, but he was big. And then recently,
Not getting
what
into
was
that,
it?
Erwin.
Dad goes, could you pick this up? And I lifted it. What was it? Like rice or something? A big bag of something. It was 50 pounds. And I go, that's about 3-year-old Kenny. So I can do it. I was able to pick it up. I got 50 pounds. That's like 3-year-old Kenny. So it wasn't too bad. He was a chunker. But then he got really picky with the food too.
Yeah.
I don't remember Mike being picky. Got to be honest. Mike was pretty easygoing.
I don't remember what
He's
Mike was
he's
eating on
third. I didn't pay attention.
I don't remember what Mike's food was like growing up. Like Mike never really had a favorite. I can't think of anything that he was constantly eating.
He was good with certain things. Because Kenny was picky, I tend to remember. It was always peanut butter and
Never jelly. Kenny was not a jelly fan, just peanut butter.
well, okay, so you all three of you are big chunky of his Italian. None of you like pasta.
Yeah.
Forget sauce. You never wanted gravy.
I'm not a pasta person.
You're not a pasta person. Ken would eat pasta with butter. He didn't want sauce. And Mike, I think, would eat.
Kenny's
whatever.
still that same way. Kenny at 29 will still take pasta with butter, which is crazy.
28. He's 28.
Whatever.
No, but okay. I better know that. That would be sad if I didn't know that. No, but yeah, that was a weird thing with the food, you guys, that I was like,
Well,
what?
Michael's done a lot of weird food things too. Like Michael too, like remember there was a time where like 12 o'clock at night, Michael was making was it quesaritos or no, what was it? He would make
Quesadillas?
quesadillas like at 12 o'clock at
Uh-huh.
night, and he would throw some of the craziest stuff into this quesadilla. I'm like, Mike, what are you doing?
Yeah. Very creative with
Ooh.
the food.
When was the last time all the kids and you were in the same room? Yes, I'm monetized. What was the last time all the kids and you were in the same room? Oh, well, I don't know if you mean,
Christmas.
yeah, Christmas, we're all home. Christmas is where everyone's together. But if you mean when we were kids, the last time,
You never all shared a room.
yeah, I guess if you mean the last time we all lived together, what age did Kenny move out? Kenny moved out 20.
After college. Well,
Yeah,
it was
so
COVID, so he was home for a little bit.
I guess high school
20,
was the last time.
22, 21, 22, something like that. Yeah, but then I was in college.
Yeah,
I think we were all home for the summer a couple times.
yeah. So I guess
Uh,
2018 was technically the last time we were all together.
when Michael,
Yeah.
well, Michael graduated in 2020.
Well, we were all in
So,
the same house during the COVID years, right? So had to be.
no, what am I saying? Michael graduated in 2024.
Yeah.
Are we in 2020? Yeah, he's 2024, right? So somewhere in there, that area, you guys were. And then for a while there, you were coming and going. Everyone was coming and going a little bit. Leaving college. Then Mike came home for a little bit, but then he went to Miami. So, yeah. Definitely the holidays.
Yeah, we're always together for the holidays. Even the pets are together.
So far. I mean, someday that probably won't be the case, but
Let me tell you, my neighbor's
that's
mom.
what.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was saying that some of these houses have these gabled roofs and the bedrooms upstairs. And Dad doesn't like those. I'm not keen on them either, but
Oh.
Dad's like, I don't want that thing. I go, listen, you're never going to be up there, and it's just for the guys. And what? They're going to be there for like a weekend and Christmas. That's about it. So who cares what they think?
Oh, that's
Think of those
sad.
gabled roofs.
Someone said I haven't seen my sister in 2.5 years. She moved out and just ignored me. We were best friends during COVID. Listen, I always say to people, just keep reaching out. Eventually they'll break. Like, I feel like your relationship with your family should always be like, I always question people who don't have good relationships with their families. Like, even siblings. I understand the sibling has like some serious issues or something,
No
but
comment.
yeah, like I don't. Yeah, that bothers me.
No
What's
comment.
what's the worst thing any of the kids ever did within reason? You don't have to say. You don't have to tell them about my terrible drug addiction.
You mean biting Christopher isn't bad enough? Worst thing they did? You guys weren't bad. And I would not admit things on YouTube. That's not fair to people. But you had your usual. Remember the time the baseball hit the back of Dad's Dad's car.
Oh
broke the
wow,
windshield.
Dad! It's funny. Dad brought that up when I forget who I was talking about. Was that when he was here? Or I talked to him about this recently. I forgot about that till Dad brought it up, and it was like boom! It was like unlocked in my head. Kenny and I were playing baseball in the driveway. My dad's car was parked next to it, and Kenny threw a ball, and it went right into the rear windshield. I forgot about that, and I just remember Dad standing outside looking at it like he wasn't even mad. He was just like, I think he was more upset by the fact that he parked it there, but I don't know. She just
Or that you didn't ask to move it first.
Sounds like your sister's got some issues, dog. But go ahead.
When one of you put your arm through the wall in the basement, in the garage because you were mad.
That was because Kenny. That was the Kenny's car accident, right? Where that lady kind of
He didn't cause it.
And Dad was more upset with the wall than the car.
Yeah, it was so stupid. He just created so much extra work when you do something like that, and he had to fix it. Dad made him fix it. Yeah, I can't. I mean, everyone had their incidences in college that I won't go into that were not your finer moments. It's like, yeah, I don't think so. But no, all in all, nowadays so many families deal with serious issues like drug addictions and alcohol and, people that are just mentally unstable.
Yeah, luckily we've never had to deal with that. Thank God.
Right, you appreciate the minor stuff and a lot of stuff that you find, oh my gosh, I can't believe you go through it. Then you realize, many other parents go through it. Perfectly normal families have the same issues. Um, in a lot of ways, though, I wouldn't want to raise a kid now because there's just so much with school and everything. Like you're constantly
Yeah,
battling.
Mom. That's
You
why
have
when
to do
I have
classes.
kids, I'm just shipping them to you. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, that's not happening.
Which kid
But
was the?
you know,
Oh, sorry. Which kid was the
good
first kid to bring home a girlfriend slash boyfriend to meet the family? Well, Michael brought his
boyfriend. I had
boyfriend.
3 sons.
Michael brought home his first boyfriend. No, you don't have to answer that one. There's certain like personal things we don't have to mention because a lot of people have come and gone.
Even that, no, no, even that was not no
You,
weirdos.
yeah.
You know,
You know the
we
show
haven't
Love
never had any
Island?
weirdos.
I lived it. I started that show. No, I'm
It was
kidding.
no.
That's what it was like in our home. I was like, Mom, this is the flavor of the week.
Let's just say it was love on the spectrum here. Love on the spectrum.
Oh, that's funny.
No, yeah, like I said, we're lucky in that sense. A lot of people have bad incidences with that, and we didn't really have.
Yeah, we
I'd
never.
rather have nothing versus nightmares. Put it that
Yeah.
way. I'd rather have it mellow than nightmares. So some parents have some real things that you hear from people.
Yeah.
You're like
Well,
shaking your head. I'm
because
like, thank God.
yeah, when you've lived as long as I have, you get those kids that have drug addicts in their family, serious mental illnesses, and that really, again, I tell Jordan all the time, we just got an annoying grandmother. That's about it. We're pretty lucky.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Keep the questions coming. Just found another family. Her friend's family moved on. Well, again, all you can do is wish her the best, and like maybe one day she'll come back into the family. Usually they do.
Yeah. I mean, I find a lot. Well, I'm of the old school mindset of sometimes it's okay if it's just going to cause more problems. Like sometimes you're better off caring for each other at a distance than being together and at it all the time. And it's not even just about the two of you, because people tend to forget it's not just you two that have the conflict. Everybody else gets roped into it too. And
Right.
that's not fair to the rest of your family. So sometimes it's better to say, maybe we're better off staying apart than creating drama for everybody else every holiday, every get together, every this, every that. It's like, for some parents who have difficult kids, if you don't get along, then you grow up and you realize maybe we're better off not interacting as much. Like
Yeah. Like I'll see you during
loving each other,
Christmas.
but
Yeah.
right, from a distance. And we don't have this dynamic yet, but at some
I
point
think.
we're gonna have other.
Yeah.
Go
Good
ahead.
point. No, I was just gonna say like because Michael and I. Even when we were home, I was like, "Does Mike hate me?" Because he would never talk to me. And then
Yeah,
what we realized was, well, first off, Michael and I are 8 years apart, right? So, yeah, Michael's 24, not 8, 6, 7, but we didn't have anything in common. And now Mike and I talk all the
six,
time.
Chris. It's
Whatever,
6, okay?
whatever. But it feels like 8. But uh, Mike and I really didn't have much in common. Now we have more in common because now we watch the same sport. Like sometimes you just have to find that common ground and you're good. I was actually telling my friend that today.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was not close with my sister at all. Susan, we're 4 years apart. Obviously not with Raymond because he's a guy. I don't really see him much. In college, we went to the same college, but I barely saw him.
it's
But you're
far.
right. When you mature out of it and you find common ground when you get to the adult age, you have a lot more things in common. And once you get past like the college age and even a little bit more, everybody's the same age, if you will. Like everybody's now an adult, whether
Right.
you're 30, 40, 50, 20. You're past that whole, well, 16 is different than 18 and 15 is different than 14. I've even said to your brothers, your 24-year-old brother is very different than your 28. They live together. Your
Right.
28-year-old brother, and I said to the 28-year-old, Ken, you weren't the same way you are now. You were a lot like that too when you were 24. As a parent, you see that. Your kids
Yeah.
have to outgrow certain things, even as adults. But I still always say, you're both adults, get your shit together. So, same thing with you. Like I've said it to you too, but you're on your own. So I'm like, sometimes you gotta get your shit together.
Oh, nice to hear that. Pause and clause. Who was the first kid to crash a car? I don't think no one crashed a car, right? I don't think we
Um,
had little nicks and bumps, but I don't think anyone crashed a car, right?
Nothing major, thank God. Kenny was hit once, but it wasn't his fault.
That's the one that
It was
I was
like
in
a
with.
yield.
Yeah, that was the one that Alan, Kenny, and I were in.
Dad had a few deer.
I was there for one of the deer. I remember that. I was thinking. You keep bringing up things I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking because we were driving up to Papa's, right? And
Yeah.
Dad, like something happened with a lady in front of us, brake checked and kind of went off the road. And Dad purposely hit her with the side that wasn't fixed yet because he knew it'd be less damage. And he knew it was her fault. But I was just thinking, like a freaking F1 driver. I was like, the fact that Dad was able to think of that on the fly. I just remember he goes, hold on for a second. Like we were mid-conversation. He goes, hold on. And yeah, you got to ask Dad if he remembers that because we went off the road with the lady. We're on the highway. So it wasn't like a big thing. But I just remember Dad like barely hit her. He stopped her. Or he stopped before he hit her. And the lady gets out, saw our car. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And Dad's like, nah, that was from the deer. Right? Like deer a couple days ago. I was like, wow, Dad, looking back on it, I'm like, Dad, that was some really good quick thinking in the last, like literally he had probably 2-3 seconds. My dad could be an F1 driver.
We were just coming home tonight. Where we live, there's 2 lanes that go pretty, it looks like a little mini highway with a light, but people go pretty fast on it. You'll know it's over by, when you do the jug handle for 280, you come off 287, you do the jug handle, you're heading towards Kings
Yeah.
and towards our town. And there's a light there where you go left to get onto 287 by
Right.
the hills. Okay, we're talking outside, but Chris understands. It's made a road. A woman decides to just hit the brakes in the left lane, just totally stops. Car behind her stops. Obviously, Dad's behind her. He's really got to hit the brakes. He almost, could have slid into her. And my thought is always, all right, we're going to stop, but the person behind us got to ram us into these people.
Right.
So that was my oh crap, here it comes. And we just had a nice leisurely afternoon, and you never know what's going to hit for no reason. And then we wound up passing this person, and she's just like, a conversation in the car. I'm like, does she not understand she could cause an accident behind us?
Some people
Yeah,
just
Dad
can't
was even
drive.
like, what the hell is she doing? Dad leaned on the horn because she wasn't even moving. She just stopped short, like she was parked there on the road. And that's unusual for Dad to do that. But anyhow, no, I can't think nobody's had any major fender benders, which is good, scratches on the car and stuff like that.
I'll never forget. Do you remember when I like first got my license and I was like, Mom, I don't want your cooking. And we went to Burger King and I backed out and I took out I'm with Kenny, he's in the passenger seat, and we back out and the rear view mirror on the right, the right mirror, I hit against the garage and started bending back, and I just remember Kenny and I were like, ah, and then we pulled back in. Do you remember that?
It bounced back, right?
It bounced back, we were like, ah.
Yeah. How about Kenny's friend? He was taking my car, and he didn't realize the mirrors were out, and my car was big at the time. They back out, and they broke off one of the mirrors.
Oh, really? Which friend was that? Well,
Yeah.
you don't have to say, but.
A long time ago, when Kenny was in high school, and when the mirrors broke. Now, it was a stupid thing to do, and he wasn't paying attention. I'm like, your friend couldn't tell you, hey, the mirror's out when you're backing up.
I thought you
right?
meant Kenny's friend was driving the car. I was like, why would Kenny let one of her friends drive the car?
No. Kenny was driving. His friend was in the front seat, and they're backing up my car. And I guess he thought he put the mirrors in, but he did the opposite, put them out, and and what really annoyed me was the kid's father owned a car dealership.
Oh, I know who it is. God,
It
of course it was him.
Thing. It's like, you couldn't fix my car.
I'll never forget when that kid parked across our garage and none of the cars could get out, and Dad just looked. And Dad just looked at him like, "Are you stupid?" like he was like, "Who the hell parks like that?" And he's like, "I'll move it." And it's like, well, hold on, think about this. Did you think no one was gonna get out? That was so dumb.
It was just like a stupid thing to do. It really was. And out of the blue, your dad was like, the two of us, we have no tolerance for stupid.
Yeah, no. I was talking about that today with Jordan.
And we've got a big driveway. It's not like there's nowhere else. There's like a bump out where you can park the car. Yeah.
He could have parked We have a huge U. And even then that.
And a bump out on the side by the garage is like, what the hell is this kid doing,
Do you have a cat? Yes, my brother has a cat, but yeah. Which kid has the most tendency to embrace the theatrical? That's probably me as a YouTuber.
Is that your Aunt Sue asking that?
No. That's a funny one. Which kid has the most tendency to embrace the theatrical? The theater. That's probably me as a YouTuber. Plus, some people compare me to Superman. So, some people say, Chris, you could be the blonde Superman. I've gotten the call a couple times.
I told you the Outlander guy.
Outlander, yeah. No, I'm more of a. I'm trying to get again. I have to get in a better shape so that I can hit. I'm trying to be the next Flash. The Flash. I got
Okay.
it.
Just for you.
James
Just a
Gunn.
perfect
No,
person for you.
I'm gonna throw up in the bathroom every night. I'm gonna get down in a crazy shape. Then I'm gonna get on Love Island.
You know, I'm gonna say Mike, believe it or not, he's pretty he cracks me
Someone
up
you
with some of
actually
the
physically
theatrical
met in
stuff,
person.
like the YouTube stuff that he's posted and stuff that he's done and would do at a young age. Remember when
Who?
he was in grammar
Michael?
school? He and the guys did this whole basketball
Oh,
routine where they came in suits with the bags and the beats on like they were NBA players, and they filmed themselves doing it before they were
that was
coming
high
into one of their
school.
championship
That was
games.
high school.
No,
Not.
grammar school.
I thought I did
No, it
that
was
with
grammar school.
Julian.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So it must have been when they were in high school, but they did it for their eighth grade. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry. You're right. You're right.
Does your mom have any?
No,
Everyone in our family is married, but my aunt Susan's the one I do the cooking show with. So, someone just asked if you had
does
any
your mom have any
sisters.
what siblings?
Yeah, well,
Don't forget Uncle
sisters.
Ray.
Well,
Oh, sisters. Yeah,
yeah,
and Sue.
sisters.
Yes.
Yeah. Uncle Ray has to do the podcast. He said one day he'll do the podcast after he's retired.
Yeah.
um,
He was by today. Pick up his tools from Grandma's house.
oh. What else? What else? I do agree. Someone said, I wish people on the internet would stop saying the word friend. A friend is someone you have actually met in person. One of the funniest things, I was laughing so hard at this. When I was streaming with Grant once, some kid in his chat when he was streaming goes, "Aren't we friends?" And Grant was so blunt. He's like, "No, I don't fucking know you." And I was like, "Yo, Grant, you gotta not say it like that.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be nice." Yeah.
Yeah. For all you know, that kid's hanging on by a thread, and you
Right.
guys are his only contact with
Right.
the real world.
Exactly. I like to think I'm changing lives.
Much like Grant.
Yeah, but yeah. Right.
He just doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
Kidding, Grant. Kidding.
That kid, yeah, Grant was like, yeah, that kid was probably like, Grant's my idol. And Grant's like, I don't fucking know you. Sprague's the best too, because Sprague will just go off on you. Like, if a viewer says something bad at him, he will dox the shit out of him. Like, Matt, you can't do that. He's like, is this you? Is this you? He'll go through social media. He's like a girl when it comes to finding them on social media. I'm like, Jesus, Matt.
Mrs. G got somebody texting her, my friend. I made a mistake
Mrs.
call
Greta.
from San Francisco about a horse. Hey, you want to come see the horse today? She wrote back and goes, I think you got the wrong number. I'm not coming to see a horse. She winds up having this conversation with an American. Oh, I think originally from Taiwan or something like that. He starts texting her back and forth. Oh, so
that's a good
sorry,
question.
but if you're ever here, you can go ride the horse. She's answering him. This is going on all day. He lives in San Francisco. He talks about how he runs marathons. I'm like, is he hitting on you? She goes, oh no, he knows I'm married. I said, that doesn't matter. This went on so long. Then she says to me, yeah, I'm going to look him up and see if he's married, to see if it's a. I go, no, you're not. Stop. Just no more contact.
Yeah, it's very
Done.
strange.
No more. But she gets like that, like you were saying with Grant. Got to know these where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, no, let him go. Move on.
So this one's for me. What is your opinion on pay to win games? I think it was the worst decision ever. We've had so many problems with pay to win platforms, like even the gambling, right? Like CS:GO with gambling, they've had so many issues with gambling. I think putting in any money in general into a video game besides the base price is dumb. I've never put money into a video game besides the actual price of the game. So, don't like that. But pay to win, I think it's just going to ruin video games in general. So I hope they stop doing it. There aren't too many pay to win games anymore, which is good. I can't think of any. So, yeah. What was the longest time mom and the kids, so mom, dad, and the kids spent in the car? What is the longest we've spent?
North Carolina.
Oh my God, I forgot about that trip. You're right. Dad was, what if the game is free? Well, then it's cosmetics probably, but pay to win's dumb. Yeah, I forgot about the North Carolina trip. I feel like we slept through all of that because that's a 12-hour.
Did 'cause we left at 10 o'clock at night. You guys fell asleep. Dad was hitting the Red Bulls, and I had to keep him up with the GPS, and we did the 12-hour ride.
Why is that 12 hours?
Oh, it was like 10 hours because we went to the Outer Banks from New Jersey.
Right, but
But
why
the
is it
worst
8 hours to me, but 12 to the Outer Banks?
because we had to go all the way out to the Outer Banks,
Is
right?
it that
So
far
with
out? Oh, I guess
traffic,
so. Huh.
and everything, you got to go over one lane bridge and blah 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 blah. So problem was it was right after hurricane. Remember they had a bad
That's
hurricane there.
right.
Like 2 days later, we get down there and we're exhausted, and you guys are raring to go because you just slept for 10 hours in the
Right.
car. So we're like, oh, this was a mistake. Dad wound up sleeping for a little bit, but you have to get set up, and there was so much water outside. We had to trudge through water to get everything. All those houses are built up high. We happened to be in a house that was high up, which was good.
I still
So
remember
we were
that.
okay.
I still remember. I don't know how old I was for that, but I still remember that house in the sense of I remember
Yeah.
the pool to the right. I remember the frogs and stuff we would find in. I believe there was one snake, but I
Yeah.
liked that house. I remember that living room too. I remember we
Yeah,
watched
they
the
have them in.
Olympics.
That's right. That's right. You were in school because we were with our friends, and you were in school with their
Right.
daughter Mary,
Yeah, the
and she
Greta's.
brought her cousin. Her cousin came, Kaylee, whatever. But on the rights, you're right. Yeah. So that was the longest time we were all in the car. We've never really.
I
I'm
can't
trying to
survive
think. We never really
more
did.
anything more than 3 hours. I'm like I'm one of those.
Well, you
I
guys have done Vermont. We've done Lake George
oh
every
Vermont.
holiday.
Yeah,
Did we do a Maine? Maybe we didn't do Maine with you guys. I don't
I don't
remember.
think so.
I don't think we did Maine.
What was the biggest event mom, dad, and the kids ever attended? I can answer that. WWE.
Oh,
Mike and I were just talking about this when we went to the WWE SmackDown event.
oh
How
my
old was I?
God.
I remember I'm coming out of basketball practice. Mom, it's Friday, I think. Mom and dad are like,
Yeah.
Chris, eat this, and it's just a meal. And remember those hot bags that you had?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, steak, cool. We're going to a Knicks game or whatever. I was like, that's
Yeah.
weird, but whatever. So we're heading out, and we get there, and Mike and I, we were just talking about this the other day, which is hilarious. We get there, and we see the WWE sign, and I was like, shit, we're going to a Nets game. And then we get in, and it's like, oh, WWE. I just remember, dude, those were the years of the Great Khali, right? The Undertaker, all that. But what I didn't realize, and this is where you get like the backside, that's where you kind of realize that it's a show, not like a sport, because they record SmackDown and then they also record Raw in the same night. Like they don't, so they do the Monday night, the Saturday night, and the Friday, Saturday, Monday show all in one. So you do get your money's worth. Because I just remember when SmackDown ended, we were like, Friday night, no, wait, is it Friday Night SmackDown? I don't know, it's been a while. But that ended, and I was like, oh, it's time to go. And then they run the intro for Raw, and I was like, oh! It's like, what? Even Michael, Kenny, and I were like, whoa! Those were fun.
Mike was at that phase where he was wearing the
Rey
Hardy
Mysterio
arm
mask, too.
Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio mask. He had the whole look. He couldn't barely sit in the seat. He was so excited when we did that.
How old were we I had to be in grade school.
Mike was old enough to put the whole outfit on, so maybe he was first grade, second grade,
So
if
then I
that
must have
much.
been seventh or eighth, probably.
You want to know, sadly, when I was down there recently before your brother was sick, the trip before that, they put on the Tuesday night, I guess it was, or whatever, WWE. They're eating dinner or whatever. It was late, so they were eating crap at the sofa. All of a sudden, some guy came out, the one who had the headaches or the one who has the back issues or something, and wasn't expected to be there. Dad knew the name, which concerns me. But your brothers got so excited. They got jumped up there screaming, through the whole like, oh! It was like being back there again at where was it? Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
No, the Meadowlands, right? That's where we went. East Rutherford, when we saw
Maybe.
them. I'm like, what are they getting so excited about? Like they were kids again, because this guy showed up. I can't think of his name. Dad knew it,
Or
but
probably like
he had
Ric
head
Flair.
injuries, or he's been out of it for a while, and he came back out of retirement.
Probably the
Big
Undertaker.
guy. The one who no. The one who I know the Undertaker. The one he does a special thing where he flips the guy and he lands on. Like they were like, you know him, Mom. You know him. I'm like,
Oh, I wonder if it's the Hardys, the Hardy brothers, but
Nope.
I don't know.
No. I
Wait,
know
the
them.
dad would know. The dad would know.
Dad knows him.
It's got to be an older dude.
Yeah. Well, it's not from. It wasn't a name that I recognized right off the bat, but I could find out for you. But yeah, he was. It was just so funny how excited they got. I'm like, are you kidding me? What?
It's just well, the problem is we went through like the UFC was going through a drought, right? Probably just not fun times in the UFC for like a good year. So Kenny and Mike moved back to WWE, and they're a little too into it. Our group chat of just memes is just them doing WWE stuff. I'm like, ugh, this sucks. They don't know memes anymore, but
Well, Mike in college in his frat house had this moment where I think John Cena was about to retire, or they were having some special WWE thing. He didn't realize how many of his friends were into it. He
right.
thought that was just something he was into as a kid. So when they were having this big event, he crammed all these guys in his room because like, oh, John Cena's gonna retire. This is the last fight, something like that. And slowly it was building, how many people. And even now he says, I can't believe how many of my friends are still into that stuff.
Yeah. What was the biggest prank any of the kids ever did? That's a good question. I don't think we would.
Prank?
Yeah, we never really did pranks. That's not really anything that we did. I'm trying to think of.
Oh, I got one, but you guys didn't do it. Remember we went up to your aunt and uncle's ski house?
Yeah.
So
This is a good story. Go ahead. I like this one.
Michael had just been born, right? He was a baby. We drove all of us up to his aunt and uncle had a ski house, Hunter Mountain in New York State. And it was an A-frame, and the whole house was a window that looked at the driveway when you pull up. So your dad decides this is his brother and wife. He decides to take a doll. And we all get out of the car. Obviously, we left Michael, and he was carrying the baby. And they're all at the window, even their two little kids are like, they're excited because they're going to see the baby. And he purposely falls, Dad, and he throws the baby, go flying in there. You see all their faces are like,
That's so bad.
that was a good one. That was a good one. They were just so like watching the baby go flying across the ice, and then obviously, ha ha ha, the baby's in the car.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
The only one I remember, and this one traumatized me. I was just thinking about it because I think I mentioned this to Dad recently. But do you remember when Dad was like crushing? He was crushing the garbage or something. And he cut his finger pretty bad and needed stitches. Right?
Yes.
He goes to the hospital. He comes back, and he pretended that his arm was amputated. Like they had to take the whole arm. I'm sitting there like, they took my dad's arm. I said, we met that up the other day, and I was like, yeah, the fact that I still remember that really traumatized me. So yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was something. I remember that one. Yeah.
Do you ever do gardening? I don't. Not really. We don't really.
I don't either.
Yeah.
He gets that from me. We're not gardeners. I don't enjoy it. I still have poison ivy I haven't gotten rid of from like 2 months ago. Just keep coming back. I made Aunt Sue do that at Grandma's. You go out, Sue. You go weed, and I'll sit with Grandma while you go making weed and work in the heat. She likes that stuff, not me.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't think we can answer this one, but who is the most famous person your parents ever met? We've met quite a few famous people. We know a lot of famous people, so we might have to skip that one. Some of the most famous people you can argue we know. I have a strawberry garden. Oh, that's pretty cool. I wish I had a strawberry garden. Aunt Sue's I didn't realize this, but she's got a little garden with all the spices. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, herbs and spices, yeah.
Yeah.
Which comes in handy, when you cooking to get a fresh herb.
Yeah.
You want to buy that from the store.
Like I like cilantro. If I can get some good cilantro and constantly make that, I'd grow cilantro. I'd put that shit in everything.
You could, on your deck.
Put that shit in my cereal.
I bought the tomato plant again, beefsteak tomatoes.
Oh. It
smells wonderful. We have 2 little green ones about, size of a quarter diameter.
I ate a salad for the first time today. I hated every second of it, but I threw my chicken in, which was nice. It's also a pre-mated. Net that blocks birds. Ooh, that's nice. I'm jealous. Yeah, I'm not the biggest salad person. I don't like salads.
You were on a salad kick in high school, the Caesar salads.
I was also like 140 pounds.
The good old days, right?
Stop. Stop making fun of my weight. I have to go
what is it? You want to be the body of Flash? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. The Flash. Remember Ezra Miller? Who,
the scrawny, skinny guy?
Yeah, the one that had that weird. Yeah, no, I'm trying to get to the Jack
the Timothy Chalamet look?
Timothy Chalamet, yeah. I'm not a salad person, but I watched him in We watched The Fantastic Beasts, which are like the prequels to Harry Potter, and Ezra Miller's in there. He was not a bad actor. I'll give him that. Did your mom
Yeah,
ever
he was
use
okay.
guinea pigs for new meals? No. What a weird question. I never even heard of that.
I never heard of it.
They said, did your mom ever use guinea pigs for new meals? No, we don't eat guinea pigs in America.
No, no. Do they mean use you guys as guinea pigs to try like new foods?
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. Did your mom ever use
Yeah.
you as guinea pigs for new meals? Oh, I read that very
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
my
yeah.
dyslexia, which I don't have. Me just separating words.
I've never. Susan's the cook. I'm not the cook in the family. Now everybody complains about my cooking, but for some reason everyone was always on a diet in my house. So I guess I wasn't
Wonder
starving
why.
anybody. But yeah, I don't think I was starving anybody here. But I'm a very basic cooking person. I'm not very really do I do anything. And if I luck out, I'm the type of person I can make a meal the same recipe 3 times. It'll come out differently each time.
Yeah.
Each time.
I
No
will
matter
say
what I
my
do.
mom does make a mean chicken parm. I do like mom's chicken parm.
My chicken parm. It's been a while. Haven't done it. We don't make it since you left.
Yeah. You do
You
make a
didn't
good
want to eat it.
you do make a good stroganoff too. I like your beef stroganoff.
But again, it tastes differently every time. Sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's the exact same recipe. It's like a kind of
That's
keeps
a
life
sign.
interesting.
That's a
Yeah,
sign.
interesting. What's it gonna, how's it gonna be today? I make the same recipe. How's it gonna be? Um, but no. So I didn't really try stuff. I mean, you couldn't try stuff out with you guys. Cooking was a pain in the ass in my house with you guys growing up. And I'll give you an example. Pasta is one of the easiest meals that mothers make for kids. Oh, I'm in a rush. I'm going to make pasta. I couldn't do that. One only eats pasta with butter. One won't have pasta. He only wants the sauce of the meatball. The other one may want the pasta, may want the sauce of meatball, might want it together. Never know. Your dad didn't care. He didn't need anything special. So something like pasta became like a multi-bowl meal. Like, how does this happen? This is supposed to be easy. You know, pasta and a bowl with a little something. Everybody eats it, they're happy. So, no, it was never easy to make a meal. And if I made something different, like chicken parm, I always had to make Kenny something like pasta because he won't eat it.
It also got difficult once we got into like middle school and high school because we were all doing different things, different sports and whatnot. That threw off a lot of the timings of things. But we always managed to eat as a family. But it was more so,
Yeah, we're pretty good about that.
yeah.
Pretty good about that.
So it was really, it wasn't common, but like sometimes we'd be getting home from track or whatever, soccer.
You know, or if somebody had a basketball game and dad was coaching, we'd all have to go, or you guys would be home and we would run. That didn't happen too much with you guys. It was more with Michael, and by the time that happened, you were in college because, you know, by the time he was in middle school, weren't you heading to college or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
something like that. If Mike
We
was,
tried to,
Mike might have been in 7th grade when I went to college.
yeah, we tried to, but we never like what other people go through. You know, with all the multiple sports, and you take this one to Utah, and this one.
Yeah. Luckily, we never did
We didn't do any
sports.
of that
We
stuff.
never did sports like to that level. Well, I guess Kenny did technically. Or I'm sorry, Michael did, but none of us did AAU or anything outside of like school sports. So,
No.
nothing that took us over state. Let's put it that way. It's not like it. Growing up, it's not like how it is today, where people are going down to Florida for cheerleading and blah blah blah. So luckily, we avoided that.
Dad wasn't really into that stuff because that's not how he or your uncles, nobody grew up like that. You played the sport in the season and everybody played every sport.
Right.
Nobody focused on just, you may have liked one sport, like your dad gravitated towards basketball. He never played football and stuff like that. But for you guys, I'll never forget, you wanted soccer camp. Everyone's doing soccer
I
camp.
remember soccer camp.
Right. This is when you were younger, though, and out of the blue, it was like a struggle all of a sudden. Put your soccer shoes on. We have to go. And finally, your dad said, "Screw it. If they're not ready to go and want to go out the door, we're not paying money for that anymore."
That's a good answer.
And it was true. You guys didn't have that type of drive. You like sports in a normal way, but nobody was looking to. When you were older a little bit, your brothers more than you because you were into the gaming stuff more. They wanted to do more sports oriented, and like I said, Michael did it, and Michael kind of, but at that point he was the only one at home, so it wasn't that big a deal to take him to stuff. It's not like I had
Right.
other kids to do stuff with. So yeah, that was good because I never really envied all these parents shuttling their kids all over the place. I never
Yeah.
did. I'm like, this is not fun. Why would
Yeah.
you want to do this? You know.
Let's take a couple more questions and then we can wrap it up. Which kid had the best Halloween costume? ever. But you probably know better than me. I still think my best one was the hobo when I refused to do Halloween because I thought it was too cool for Halloween. So I basically just took dirt. Like that was me thinking on the spot. But I think you kind of came up.
We
with
had
it.
a good one. Like you were Batman and Kenny was Robin. That was perfect. It was a good combo, and it worked out.
And then
well.
Michael came along and he was Catwoman.
Yeah.
Eat it, Mike.
Everybody was Bugs Bunny their first Halloween.
Oh,
You
really?
all wore the same costume. We took your pictures of Bugs Bunny with the carrot. Easy peasy done. Then with the two of you, that was a good one. There's a couple that stand out. You had some costumes in 8th grade because they did things like
The
hippie
sumo
costume. Yeah.
I had the sumo wrestler.
I had Kenny decided to be an Oompa Loompa.
I remember that. That is a good one.
And it came out great. Everything that he had the face paint and the hair thing. He probably regrets doing it now because it was like the stupidest costume. But as far as costumes go, it was good. Mike decided he wanted to be Daredevil or the one
Deadpool.
I had no clue what a Deadpool
This was back before the movies, right?
Before the movie, so I made some weird ass looking homemade thing, and it was awful, right? It was like but he loved it because he got to wear the red, and he was young enough. He was too stupid to know it was so bad.
He was too stupid.
Later on, he got a good one, and that was like great, like the real thing
Right.
when the movie became popular. We went to a party once because you remember your friend Anthony. His birthday was
Those
Halloween.
parties were sick. I still look back on those parties. I'm like, yo, to me, that was like my, like, what's the Project X or whatever, those parties. Looking back on it, those were huge parties that they had for Halloween.
They were big parties, and it was adults and kids coming in costume. And your dad came as
The old man.
an old man.
Yeah, I remember that costume.
But I showed up with you guys and made it sound like Dad wasn't coming. So when he came, people were actually asking me, who do you think that person is? They had no idea who the old man was. They just couldn't figure out that it was Dad. It was a good costume. He had the face mask.
He did a good job faking it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Walking with a hunch. So that was a neat one.
I'm sure Dad's back hurt for a month after that. No, Dad. I'm sure he was like, my back for the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny had one with the hazmat, the whole hazmat suit with the hat and the mask.
I don't remember that one. I remember the Power Ranger ones. I feel like we did the Ninja Turtles at some point with the. No, we did ninjas, right? With
Ninja. Yes, just plain ninjas. That was a good one. Those were back in your karate days. When you guys were doing your karate and getting your belts.
Taekwondo, get it right, Ma.
Sorry, Taekwondo. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Taekwondo. So yeah, we had pictures of it, and then after a while, I stopped. Once you guys got to high school, you weren't even doing Halloween.
Yeah.
But then in college, they were doing some. When they'd have Halloween parties, I'd say, get me pictures.
I think my best one was Finn from Adventure Time, right, with the backpack and the little head.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
That was a good one. Yes. That was in college, right?
Yeah.
College party. That was a good one.
I'll never forget this because I feel like such an idiot. But we go into one of the house parties with me and my costume. Some guy goes, "Oh, are you?" He goes, like he didn't say it. He didn't say, "Are you?" He just goes, "Finn," and I'm like, "No, Chris." And I was like, "Oh wait," because I forgot. I just know it as Adventure Time because that was past my Adventure Time didn't come out till after my cartoon days, I should say. I knew what it was, but I didn't even know that his name was Finn. I was just like, I should be this because someone recommended it, and we're both blonde. So I was like, oh yeah. And then some guy holding a beer, I'll never forget this. He just goes, Finn, and I go, no, Chris.
And he's like, idiot.
Yeah. Luckily, he was drunk, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah. Any other questions before we wrap it up? We can take one more probably if someone has one. If not, we can just wrap it up. We just did 2 hours. That's a solid pod.
Yeah.
Man, those were good.
There's a lot of questions tonight. That's good.
Power Rangers was a good one. I remember Power Rangers. Man, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I have the board next door.
Did someone do the blow up dinosaur? Or am I?
Oh, remember you the sumo?
Yeah, that was the one I remembered. That was 7th
With
grade.
the blow up, had the pump, and
Yeah.
it would be and you thought it was hysterical because she would do the walk with the black wig on. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
Wolverine. Michael did Wolverine, or someone did Wolverine. That was a good one.
Yeah, Mike had a little Marvel hero fixation. And when you're in kindergarten, they had the day of Mike, and you could put up all the things that mattered to you, like a full Wolverine costume,
Yeah. I don't remember a
with
lot
the
of that.
claws and everything.
Yeah. I don't
Well, that's
remember.
not too dark.
I think Mike or did someone do Captain America? I feel like someone did Captain America.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't remember Captain America.
All right. I guess we can wrap it up there. Erwin, we'll see you hopefully. Um yeah. So the only things I have to promote, wait, let me bring up my Notion. Let me just take a look. Daily to-dos. No, let me see my calendar. Not much because we haven't done too much since the last 3 weeks basically. So last week on Thursday, which was the last time I got back, I did the next Lego video. I don't know what we're on, but I also did Solar Punk. Mai and I are doing a full playthrough of that, so I'm just turning that into videos just to make it a little easier. Because I'm trying to do like one major video a week that I can work on. So today I posted Mole, a little horror game, so go check that out. And then that's pretty much it for this week because we weren't here for a full week. So pretty easy week. I think we'll do another podcast next week. I believe we should have the time. I just have to help someone move. But lucky me. Luckily, she's moving just across the street, so that makes it pretty easy. But yeah, and then that's about it. So social media, promo code Streamlinks Discord. I will see you guys at stream on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, and you will see Mom hopefully next